Which of the two will fight to the end and become the new queen? Which of the two will resist the pressure and finally hold the trophy of the victory? Which of the two will inherit the glory of the East? Very soon the battle of wisdom is about to begin. A breathtaking confrontation across the chessboard is imminent.
那我觉得每一次对抗赛都是不同的。我的目标就是认真的去消耗每一
Ju
盘棋。
Wenjun has a really strong heart. She will excel at seizing any opportunity. Her willpower will be released on the chessboard, determined to retain her title and stay at the
以
top.
前的比赛每一场棋其实都会是难忘的，但是我觉得在接下来的这场比赛将会是我职业生涯当中最难忘的一场比赛。
Lei Tingjie is the new challenger. She will fight for every inch of the board, eager to showcase her fresh energy and aspiration. Two strong players from the mysterious East, the best teammates and toughest opponents. On the stage of 64 white and black squares, they will demonstrate their best performance and unveil unlimited, exciting possibilities.
Hello everybody and welcome to the second game of the Women's World Championship match between Ju Wenjun, the current world champion, and the challenger Lei Tingjie. Here in the studio, Grandmasters Ju and Alik Gershon, we will try to we will be with you for the whole tournament, for the whole match, and we will try to understand what is going on. Hi Ju, how are you?
Hello, Alik. And today we will have the second match of the Women World Chess Championship. And today Ju Wenjun will play white. So I'm very wonder after yesterday she played a totally defensive game. Today maybe she will try some active play to respond to her opponent.
Absolutely, she needs to start putting some pressure, right?
Yes.
She feels, as we spoke yesterday, right? She feels that yesterday she was the moral winner of yesterday's game, right?
Yes,
Although
yes.
the game was a draw, she just a small recap. She encountered some unpleasant surprise in the opening. She was suffering. She was on a few times during the game. She was really on the verge of getting into big trouble.
Yes.
But now it's all over and it's a new game today, right?
Yes.
And we have already, the game has already started, and no surprises today, right? So the first move she started, as we spoke before the broadcast, and as we expected yesterday,
Yes.
the d4 move was played, right? And d5, so we are seeing a queen's gambit.
Yes. And
the Tarrasch,
Tarrasch,
yeah,
yes.
which is a very topical line nowadays, right?
Yes.
So the point here is that Black wants to force some massive exchanges in the center, right? And what do you think about those positions? What do you think about the opening choice by Lei?
This opening, I think, is very famous nowadays. It starts. I'm not sure who starts to play it, but I know Wesley So plays a lot of games as Black in like the the fourth move, c5 for black. And after c5, there is a lot of lines to exchange a lot of pieces after maybe the future 10 moves.
Yes.
Yes, and this line I think is a very solid line for black.
There are lines where black is even willing to sacrifice a pawn at some points, right? Like
Yes.
CD5, CD4, right?
Yes.
And here white can potentially win a pawn with queen a4, right?
Yes, queen a4.
But then it would be very dangerous, right? After, how do we play here? Do we play knight c6 first, or do we take?
I think maybe
Take and bishop b4, right? Probably, yes. There are extensive lines, but
yes, maybe
white
queen
normally
A5
doesn't
is-
take, yes?
Yes, normally white doesn't take this pawn.
Because it can become very tricky. And e3 is the safer approach, right? You want
Yes.
to play it safe, but this gives black a little more opportunity to develop the pieces, right?
Yes.
So this is our current position. C takes d4, right? So black is opting to play with an isolated pawn.
Yes. And I think after black choose to play knight c6 at the fifth move, it means black wants to play this pawn.
Yes. And okay, he takes d4.
He
right?
takes d4. Yes.
And okay, what do you say about this position?
I think first to see the time control, I think two players are not so surprised. Her opponent will play this line.
Yes.
Yes. And this, I think this position is not. Of course, it's a very equal position, but I think there is something. I mean, not that easy for both players because sometimes white can play knight e5. White has one more move, and after knight e5, maybe black will choose to play knight e5, take it after all the pieces is developed, and after d takes e5, the pawn style is
Let's just illustrate. Yeah, let's say we go something like this, right? And,
Yes.
and the knight will jump eventually to e5.
Yes.
And if we take, then
the pawn structure is not the same, because before you take the knight, it's the
right.
same pawn.
It was absolutely symmetrical, right? And,
Yes. And if you don't take, for example, you play bishop d7, I can play bishop c6, and the pawn structure is also
again, we managed to get an unbalanced position, which
yes.
and this is the second game in a row where in this match that we can see that the white player doesn't opt for anything huge in the opening, right? So both of them, they are very content with the small advantage and trying to squeeze this positional edge. Okay, very interesting. And Lei played bishop d6. Basically targeting this plan that you
Yes.
mentioned, right? So taking e5 under control. Well, I think the normal move here is
Castling, I think.
castling, right?
Yes.
So we can expect castle, and how do we place our pieces here? So I'm tempted to play something like h3 to prevent the bishop from getting to
g4.
to an active square, or we can maybe start using our one move advantage to maybe play bishop g5 ourselves here, right? Is this an option?
Yes. Yes. After bishop g5, black should be careful with knight d5 or bishop f6 first to take on d5.
Absolutely. For instance, if we go like this, then I think even knight d5 might be already. Well, knight d5 will have bishop takes h2 probably. Yes. So it's a bit premature, and nice also hitting both bishops.
Yeah.
But maybe, as you mentioned, bishop f6 is an idea here, right?
Yeah, after bishop g4, maybe we can try bishop f6, but maybe black just play queen f6 to sacrifice the
yes,
pawn.
as we know, pawns are not everything in chess, right?
Yes.
And here maybe queen h6 even, and it's quite similar to what we saw yesterday, right?
Yes.
With the bishop pair and this pressure on the queen side. Although, of course, here White's developing is much better, but still, as we can see, the bar shows that it's, although being a pawn down, it's actually Black who is slightly better here,
Yes.
which means that she has full compensation here, right? Okay, so so both players castle, and actually bishop g5 is on the board, so we kind of guessed Ju Wenjun's plan for now.
Because now I think if black don't play bishop g4, I can play bishop f6. For example, if you play h6, then I can take on f6. After you take with queen, I can play knight d5. And now, if you play queen g6 to attack on king side, I can just easily put my knight on e3 to defend everything on king side.
And keeping the pawn up, and
maybe next move I will play bishop d3. So bishop g5, if black don't to play some moves like h6 to waste a move, bishop f6 is a threat. Now black need to think she could play bishop g4 or not. If she think bishop g4 is not enough for sacrifice this pawn, maybe she will try bishop e6 instead.
But bishop e6 is a little bit passive, yeah.
Yes.
So you really don't like to make such moves, but maybe sometimes you really have to do that.
And now seems two players are very focused on the opening position. I saw on the picture Ju Wenjun is also very focused on the chessboard, but now it's Lei Tingjie's move.
So this is actually interesting because both of them are blitzing the move so far, right? And yet they are both very. Maybe this is a memory contest, right?
Yes.
So, yes. Sometimes you just need to remember the amount. The amount, it should be said that the amount of knowledge, of data that the players nowadays keep in their heads is huge, right? You have to keep so many variations. And they often are very similar one to another. And there is some very little nuance that makes the whole difference between a normal playable position and a lost position or something like this, right?
Yes. Sometimes maybe you think in my memory, maybe I should play this move, but maybe this is in a similar position, not this. And when you play this wrong move, maybe you just lost the game.
Yep.
Nowadays.
Yeah. And for somebody for not just professional, I always encounter ideas that, but why do you need to study? You know all the tricks, you know all the strategies.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you are a grandmaster, a 2600 grandmaster, then you will forever be like this.
Yes.
But nowadays, even to stay on the same level, you need to work a lot on chess, and the amount of data is just unbelievable, of course. And we can see that, Lei Tingjie is taking her time to consider.
Yes.
It's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's out of book, right? Maybe she's choosing between
two different preparation, maybe.
Is h6 as you is not as you showed? We just take, and the knight goes to e3 eventually. Can we maybe insert a move like Is a6 a move here to ask you where you're going here, or this is
e6, I think
completely-
still bishop f6. It's
still bishop f6?
Yes, I have knight d5 to catch the queen first.
This is the nuance, and we cannot attack. If we attack the knight somehow, then the bishop can just retreat, right, defending the knight, or even
Yes.
take on c6 if
Yes.
we really greedy.
Yeah, because takes on c6, I have knight b6 next.
And knight
move.
b6, and there goes your bishop pair, right? So you adjust the pawn down.
Yeah.
Okay, so a6 is a blunder, of course. You can count on me for blunders. I will provide them as many as you want. And what else do we have?
I think the move should between bishop g4 or bishop
Bishop
e6.
g4 or bishop g4. Okay, and on bishop g4, so bishop g4, basically black is creating a threat of her own, right? To do the same.
Yeah.
So it can be very forcing. I feel that the bishop on d6 is maybe on e7 it's even positioned a little bit better.
On
Although with the bishop on e7, white would choose another
yes,
plan, right?
not to play bishop g5 instead.
Okay, how do
bishop
we
on
proceed?
e7
How
is-
do we proceed here with white?
I think if black choose to play bishop e7, the position, for example, like castling, then white can play knight e5 instead. So the bishop on e7 is so defensive, and knight e5 is in, as we said before, it's a very common plan in this variation. And now after bishop d6 in the game, here I think white has to play bishop f6 in this position. I cannot find an
Actually, I'm looking now at the database, and
Yes.
this line has been played quite a few times.
yeah.
And white has 4 moves here. The main move by far is bishop e2, retreating the bishop.
bishop
And this
E2,
is
yes.
actually, it corresponds to the first engine line also. And another idea is to take on c6, but the results are not too great there.
Yes, I think bishop c6 and black takes on c6. It's quite comfortable for black. Definitely.
Exactly. And then white goes something like h3, bishop h5, rook e1, continuing some normal development. And again, it would be a clash between a slightly better pawn structure versus 2 bishops, right? So this is something that white can choose to go for. But as we said, the main move here is to play bishop e2.
Yeah, I think bishop e2 is the move I missed. Because after bishop e2, if black play bishop e7, maybe I can play knight e5, or maybe rook e1 first. Maybe I can play rook e1 first, and then next move I can move knight on
Yes,
e5.
and you're retaining this slight pressure that you wanted to have, right?
Yes.
Oh, but Lei played bishop e6. This is, as you said, this is the second option that black had.
Yes, I think if she cannot remember everything after bishop g4, maybe she will choose bishop e6 because it is very safe to protect on d5. Maybe after bishop g4, she think Ju Wenjun has some prepare after something like knight
Maybe that
d5.
explains her pause to think a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes? And bishop e6 has also been played quite a few times even by giants like Vishy Anand. And normally white continues with rook e1 here.
Yes.
And now black has has tried really many moves. H6 seems to be the most popular.
Bishop
But
H4.
Anand played rook c8 here instead of h6.
I think white
against-
will go 95.
Again, it was against Mamedyarov, the game, and it continued rook c8 95, as you said, h6, bishop h4, g5, and bishop g3 knight e7, but then look at this move by Mamedyarov.
He goes.
You can take a minute to guess, guys. Knight d7.
Whoa.
This is a beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
move. Blocking the queen from defending the bishop, and
Yeah.
and after black has weakened the dark squares, the lack of the bishop on d6 will be devastating. And actually, the game really ended quite fast. So it was a rapid game, of course, and by far not Vish's best performance. But it's an instructive game anyway. After knight f5, white played bishop e5, knight e4, and after bishop d7, queen d7, knight d5,
Yeah.
black resigned. So this is an instructive, I think, illustration of the dangers that could potentially be in this position, right? So the main move for black here is so I think that shows us that one of this is a very unpleasant pin, right? So you
Yes.
cannot
Get away from.
from it easily, and for this reason, white can count on having some small advantage here. So the main continuation here for black after rook e1 is to play h6, bishop h4, and now we can play rook c8, which more or less I think does it transpose to Anand's game? Yes. So and after knight e5, Nihal Sarin tried here bishop e7 in 2021 against Rapport, but also without much luck. White took on c6, played knight a4, and the pressure was really unpleasant for black.
Yes. Even white can play bishop f6, take and
play positionally, right?
yes,
And
knight c5 something.
absolutely, yeah. So, and for this reason, I think eventually Nihal Sarin did play g5, but playing g5 is very double-edged, right?
Yes.
So you solve one problem, but potentially you create yourself another, maybe even bigger problem, right?
Yes.
For the long run. Okay, so this is very interesting so far. And Lei, I think she is, now we can safely assume that she is a little bit, she is out of her book right now,
Yes.
right?
Because I think bishop g4 is better than bishop e6 in this position.
But wait, so, okay guys, I'm sorry, we misplayed it a little bit. So she played bishop g4 first, and then she played. Oh, this is clever. Actually,
yes,
this is
yes.
very clever.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we take back what we said. So basically, she forced the bishop to e2, and this makes a lot of sense now, right? And now we go to e6, claiming that the bishop on e2 is much worse than on b5, because you
Yes.
cannot take on c6. You cannot have this knight d7 that we saw, right? So after rook e1, and this has been played. Now you can go for the same idea that
Even knight e5 is
even knight e5 is impossible now, right?
Yes.
Because the e file is blocked. So this is quite clever. And I have to say that so it actually looks that maybe it's not even found over the board. Maybe she has it prepared from home. What do you think?
The 11th move, bishop e6,
Yeah.
is out of the book.
You think? because she did think for a while. That is true, but
Yes.
but after that she plays quite fast, and there were actually quite a few games after bishop e6. And so one of the key games was played between, again, Mamedyarov is a big is a
Fan of
player
white.
in this line for white, and he played it against Nepomniachtchi in 2022. And the game continued rook e1 as Ju Wenjun played h6. I think it's also the move that is on the board.
Yes.
Bishop h4, rook e8. Bishop goes back to b5.
Yes.
And then g5, bishop g3, taking on g3, h takes g3, and bishop g4. And but eventually Mamedyarov managed to win this game. He took on c6 and started slow to give to pressurize white a little bit, black a little bit.
So I think Mamedyarov has a very good experience in this.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And another interesting approach for black is to play h6, g5, and knight e4 right away.
Here?
Yes. Vidit played it last year.
Against
Anton Congugiaro, yes,
from Spain.
and then after the bishop exchange, the king went to g7, and actually, I think black got quite a comfortable game. The knight went to f5, queen f6, and it was so maybe this is a nice setup for black to counter this plan. Let's try to see what other options are there for black. So h6 is by far the main move here, bishop h4, and g5 is also the main move here. So this is probably three of the 4 games after h4, g5, h6, g5 were played as white by Anton. So probably
Yes.
players were target preparing for him against him in this line. But
And I think Anton is a player who is very good at openings.
yeah, and he actually scored 2.5 out of 3 in this position with white. So do we expect? But actually, what's interesting that Ju Wenjun is taking her time here in this position. So
Yes.
she's deciding whether she wants to go, sorry, to go to h4 or what.
I think bishop h4 is almost forced. I think.
It looks most natural.
Yes.
You don't really want to take, do you?
Of
On
course.
f6. You don't want to take unless there is something very concrete, and I do not see it.
Yes. So I'm not sure because bishop e3, d2, or c1 is also seems impossible.
It seems to be really not. No, but actually now Ju Wenjun did play. She played bishop h4.
Yes, because seems like Lei Tingjie is thinking and Ju Wenjun is
Yes.
very relaxed. Yes, I saw Lei Tingjie played something like rook c8 maybe.
Yes,
I'm not
it
sure.
is.
but
It is what. It is what it seems. Absolutely. So she did not. Yeah, the board as it seems on the board.
Yes.
Rook c8 is another option, right? So you don't want to weaken your king side so early.
Yes.
But now we say what is bishop b5 the move, or how do we proceed here with white?
I think bishop. If you play bishop b5, maybe black will play bishop g4. Is it possible?
This never-ending dance, right? You go here, I go here, and we go back. Okay, maybe rook c1. Or but you know what? Maybe if I manage to play queen d2.
Yes.
Maybe you will no longer have g5 because, well, of course not g6. It was a mouse slip, but g5 is now losing because we just take on g5.
Yes. And at least we can win 2 pawns.
So this is surely not the way to go for black, and
actually I think after queen d2, maybe black should play some move like bishop e7.
It might well be the plan because.
Yeah, I like the move queen d2.
So actually, the only game that has been played so far with rook c8. So rook c8 is kind of it was never played on high level. It was played by a 2300 guy, Rogani Arash, and. So basically, on a high level, this is we can say this is a novelty, or at least a new idea introduced to the high level, right? And but in that game, and the only game that happened beforehand, White played a3, which I'm not sure.
I think it's not good because in the high level they played g5. Immediately, I think yes, a3 is.
So you need to prevent it somehow, probably, right? So
yes.
So queen d2, I think, looks the most natural move here.
Yeah, I really like queen d2 because black is. I think black here is need to play accurate because you cannot play g5 anymore, and if you cannot develop the position good, white can play. For example, bishop b5, knight e5. These moves are now very dangerous for black because you never have bishop g4 to to give a line to d1 queen.
Right, exactly, because we went out of the pin, right?
Yes.
Okay, maybe a6 makes sense then. So at least you know I want to prevent you. I'm not pretending that I will have equality here. I agree that I am slightly worse, but my question is, how worse am I really? Okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm thinking? So maybe this is a valid idea.
Yes, because if I play bishop d3, maybe you will play bishop g4. I will make this move.
Right. So this. The bar says we're blundering something because there is again because the queen is on d2, so you don't have bishop h2 anymore because there is knight takes h2 and bishop takes f6 and we win a full piece.
Yes.
So you see those little differences, right, in every position, and it's very
tiny.
Yeah, it really is a tiny position, and you calculated. So just to walk you through the process of thinking, right?
Yes.
So when you are during the game, when you are calculating some lines, then and then you come to a conclusion. Okay, so knight takes d5 doesn't work because I have done the bishop h2, right? So so the next time when nothing drastic changed, you may not even recheck yourself, right? Because you know mentally you have this note that okay, knight d5 doesn't work, and then I go normally bishop g4. I know that bishop g4 is good, and then all of a sudden you can get surprises, right?
Yes, and maybe even if you find the after your opponent played bishop d3, you find bishop g4 is impossible because your opponent have knight h2. Maybe the position is going to worse.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So this is a very very tricky points. But Ju Wenjun is taking her time to think. So,
Yes.
and you know what else? What she might be concerned about? Maybe she's concerned about the move like knight a5. Is this a possible move? So I want to go here, using the fact that the queen is now on d2, right?
Yes. But
The bar didn't like my move, or it depends on which color you are playing for. But what the bar is suggesting, or our third commentator, as we did not mention him, the Stockfish, is suggesting knight b5.
I think this. I know what this move wants because
Wants to take a pawn, I think.
yes, and I want to play bishop f6.
And bishop f6, and then the knight. So the queen. This is called an overloading, right? So the queen is doing two tasks at once, and we are basically saying that we will distract your queen with on one side, and then it cannot protect the knight on a5. But is it so bad? And now you just take on a7.
Yes.
Yeah. So the knight a5 is actually a blunder.
Yes, but knight b5. I mean, it's not easy to find in this position when you want to play queen d2.
This is true. This is true. But then again, after knight f5 is also, you kind of feel that it's a bit awkward, right? So you might start looking for stuff, or at least you can start looking at stuff like this, right? So knight d5.
Yes.
You will get to this, and then you might get to, okay, why do I need to go into all this trouble if I have. And here, by the way, this probably is not enough because black has sufficient compensation, right? With the rook along the second rank, and the more active bishop, I think it's.
Yes, and the next move, queen f4, is a big threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Queen f4, you will not be able to defend even, or almost. Okay, so.
And in the game, I think white played a3.
Oh, so white did play a3. And maybe they know something we don't.
Yes, actually, I think queen d2 is really a good move. Because when we see bishop d3, black cannot play bishop g4. I think bishop d3, then something like bishop b1, knight e5. The plan is. I think.
Yeah, I really like this position for white, and then the bishop will transfer and put even more pressure on d5, right?
Yes.
It looks good, but why? So a3, I'm thinking maybe they don't like bishop b4, perhaps, on queen d2. Could this be the case?
Bishop b4 is a move. But black cannot play g5. Yeah, so
black cannot play g5, but maybe black wants to play knight e4 now. Or is it a valid move? It might be, right? So let's say, for instance, if we play a3 here, then maybe even just bishop takes c3 and knight e4 next move. Yeah.
Yes, bishop c3 first, and then knight e4. After knight e4, if you move your queen, I can play queen b6 just to get out.
Absolutely. And can we take with the queen, or?
I think take queen, just knight e4.
Anyway, knight e4, and no problem whatsoever. Yeah. So this is the point. This is the point of a3. And now black will probably need to play g5 again, right? Because if you really allow white to play queen d2, you might find yourself in some under some unpleasant pressure. And Lei Tingjie is trying to concentrate to start herself calculating lines.
Yes.
Because the position, this is a very tricky position, because on the one hand, it seems that you don't have any any dangers, right?
Yes.
Right ahead of you, because okay, the position is very symmetrical, and so the only plus white has over you here is that pin, right? So
Yes.
you don't feel really very threatened. But on the other hand, it can become, if you inaccuracies, and it can become very tricky, right?
I think this position is very technical.
And who do you think it favors according to the style of their games?
I think I will prefer white in this position because if I play white, so the first thing is black can not easily get off the pin. If he play g5, then after bishop g3, even if the position is very equal, I can have black has some problems on king side, and I have nothing to worry about. Even if he played very well, I can maybe play for a draw. It's not very difficult. But if I play with black, I need to worry about my king side after g5. And if I don't play g5, I need to worry about the pin. So I think white has a little advantage. And black is also not allowed to play bishop e7 because something like knight e5 will give, or maybe bishop d3 first. It will give white some advantage. So I think a3 there is another plan to play bishop d3 next move. And next move I play bishop d3. You cannot play knight b4 to capture my bishop.
Yes, this is a valid point.
I think here black should play g5 because if black don't play g5, I cannot see how can black improve the position. If black play a6, here white can white play queen d2. Now knight a5 seems maybe a good plan for black because you played a3.
And then yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This might, but on knight a5 we still might have. We don't have bishop f6 for the same reasons that we didn't have them before, right?
Yes.
And if we, yeah, you're right. So maybe white has.
I think after a3, white has the different. White has the different plan as queen d2. Maybe bishop d3 is her plan. Mm-hmm. She will never try queen d2 in this.
Okay, yeah, I agree. So maybe she wants to switch to another plan, but still black has to solve this this issue of the pin, right?
Yes.
And
in the game, Lei Tingjie played rook e8.
Rook e8.
Yes, I think she just keep her chances to play g5 or not.
And what if bishop d3, as you said?
Bishop d3, maybe. Actually, I'm not very sure what should black go here, because bishop g4 is. Can I play bishop g4 here? No, bishop g4. I can just rook e8.
I still want to make queen d2 work, to be honest.
Yes, here I think black met some trouble. She cannot easily make a move. I mean.
But if we go g5 and exchange.
Yes, g5 is always a move, and exchange it.
And now I would like to regroup somehow. No, now I can pin, right? With bishop g4.
Yes, bishop g4. But this pin is not very dangerous for white. For example, I can take. If you cannot take on d4, I can play queen d2, because you take this pawn structure is not worse.
Right. Yeah. Because with the pawn on g3, it's much less dangerous for white. I agree. But on the other hand, it's also.
But
well, we are pretending. Of
yes,
course,
we
we're
need to
thinking in general, right? Not
yes.
not in this concrete position. So, but I still like to place the bishop there because maybe. And I would actually, I would like to. So, for instance, here I would even consider to take with the knight. And then the knight can go to e6. I think
yes.
it's a perfect square for it, or to e5 even.
Yes.
And now the question is, can you really make any to take any advantage of me weakening this king side, or is it just normal for black?
I think after this, when we play to this position, maybe knight c7, queen f6 is also a plan.
Right, knight c7 to keep the pawn, right, to defend the pawn, and queen f6, and having the queen on f6 really makes you feel better, right? Yes. Safer with this, and also not to forget that with the queen on f6, the pressure is annoying, right? The pressure on d4 is annoying, so the queen. So basically, we would love to have our queen on f6. And the knight, for now, it can stay on c7 because from there it can always go to e6, and we just need to solve for this pawn on d5, right? So this might be a plan for. This might be actually the threat, right? So g5, the whole position is evolving around g5 here.
Yeah.
And we are saying queen d2, you said knight a5. But what if we are not afraid of knight a5? We just move away from the pin.
Yes, it seems a good idea because. But now can I play bishop f5? I'm not sure this is
5. And if we take, then you want to take on h2?
No, I want to play knight b3 actually, but I'm not sure this is possible.
Catch my queen. If I take, you want to go here? No. Where do you want to go?
No, I think I just blundered.
Okay.
Yes, but if white haven't got knight f6, queen h6, maybe bishop f5 is a good idea because knight b3 is a very big threat. I think.
Yeah, the queen is caught. But what happened? Actually, what happens after king h8?
Maybe just knight e8.
Just take everything.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to. And also the queen is hanging. So
yes, and you take just have queen e3 next move.
We gave up too much.
Yes. So after rook d1, if bishop f5 is not allowed, I think black is not easy to play in this position here, because knight a5 seems useless.
So if there nothing goes on there, then okay. And if we just play
bishop e7,
simple and stupid, as they say, what happens here?
I don't know, bishop b5 or knight e5, which is better for white here.
Ju Wenjun went bishop b5 here.
Yes, bishop b5 is the plan as I think Nebo play black against Mamedyanov.
Yes.
I think.
But is it exactly the same, or
no, they don't play rook c8 and
right?
a3. Yes.
So, but a rook c8 and a3, I think it clearly favors black,
Yes,
right?
of course.
In this position. So all in all, we can say that this is an improvement. How big an improvement? It's still to see, but
I think Ju Wenjun should have checked the game from between Mamedyanov against Nebo, and she knows this plan, bishop b5, and I think she knows something after bishop b5, the whole plan. But maybe rook c8, and she think bishop b5 cannot on the pin of the e8 rook, so she played a3.
so she waited for the rook to land on e8, right, and then played.
Yes, and then play bishop b5.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, how do we proceed with black? We can go g5 as always here, or we can maybe ignore, or can we ignore?
If you play bishop e7, maybe I will play knight e5.
And I'm risking to be left with the wrong pieces, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the positional threat is always to take on c6, to go knight a4, rook c1, knight c5, right, and smother, slow smothering of black's position. And to prevent that, black will need to sooner or later play g5, which will create another weakness which white can play against. So if, for instance, we play g5,
then bishop g3 should play.
we can take, or maybe we can wait a little bit also.
Yes, because we, if you play for example, bishop g4, rook e8, as we said, we always play knight e8.
It looks, it looks very natural, right? Because the queen belongs, unless we blunder something. This always has to be said. If tactically, if it works tactically, positionally, we want to take with the bishop, with the knight on e8, right?
Yes.
And if not, white doesn't have to take, of course, right?
But how can white play here? I cannot find the easy move for
queen
white.
d3.
Queen d3. Can I just take on f3, bishop f3 now?
Ah, you still want to take?
Yes, I want to.
Yeah, I forgot that now. Although maybe I'm not that scared.
Yes. If bishop g3, h g3.
As you said, it will be good, right?
Yes.
But if you don't take, then
I'm not sure about this position.
This too much.
Yes, because sometimes maybe if white can protect the d4 pawn, he can play queen f5, and this square.
It can be very it can be tricky.
Yes, because
both sides weaken their position so much, you know.
Yes.
So this could be an option to continue, right?
Yes, I think this position for both players are very technical. They need to.
Yeah. It's
yes, this is, I mean, a very a position need you to know the chess very well.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, actually, I found that it's the case in most positions, but here as well.
Yes.
So a6, bishop a4 was introduced, and actually, I think it's a good addition for black always, right, to have this move.
Yes, but bishop a4, I think is also not a it's also a move for white, because after bishop a4, I can play queen d3 and bishop c2. have something on king side. But of course, a6 is a move for black to stop knight b5 or something on queen side.
It feels that Lei does not want to play g5.
Yes, actually, I also, but maybe this is a very stupid plan. I think I will consider g6.
G6.
Yes,
Okay, let's
maybe it's very stupid plan.
And you want to bring the king and unpin.
Yes, because sometimes in
Interesting.
yes, sometimes in some king e4 e5 opening there is something like g6.
Right, in those Italian-like positions,
yes,
right?
Italian, yes. Petrov.
Or yeah. Okay. Now, do I have queen d2?
I'm not
King
sure.
G7.
King g7 can play it or not.
G7, but now you're still not unpinning, right?
Yes.
Because the pawn on h6 will be hanging. On the other hand, okay, how do I keep going? Can I play knight e5 here?
Yes, it seems not easy for black to play.
It's a very annoying pressure, really annoying. So. And very surprisingly so, I must say, because you would normally think that, okay, black has really no problems here. Superficially, right?
Yes.
But
or maybe g6, queen d2 can play bishop f8 instead of king g7. I can put my bishop on g7.
Sorry, I misplayed.
Yes. I need to. I want to play. Put my bishop on
So
g7.
the bishop goes to g7, which is a beautiful square. So basically, you want to achieve almost all the same things without weakening the king side.
The king side, yes.
I still think that knight e5 is unpleasant.
Yeah.
And you know, I want to say that if we eventually, let's say, if eventually we end up taking on c6, then a6 might become, with the knight on c5, it
Yes.
might even work in white's favor, the pawn being on a6, because it will be a target for the knight on c5.
Yes, yes.
So it might actually turn out to be a weakening move for black, although very,
Yes.
very, very far down the road. But
It makes me remember what we said yesterday. It's also something like a6 is a weakening move.
yes, yes, absolutely. And you know, as they say, when you move pawns in chess, think
Yeah.
very carefully, because pawns don't move back, right?
Yes. And some moves like g6 or even this position a6, it will change the style of the game. It will change something of the game, I think.
Yeah. Yes, although these moves that you don't really, they are not the flashy moves that you say, okay, this is a blunder or this is a brilliant move, right?
Yeah.
This is a move you sometimes can just not even notice, right? But then 25 moves later, you
Yeah.
will suffer the whole game because of this pawn on
Yes.
a6 or something like this. Yeah. So. These are the nuances of high-level chess, and for when you are playing a world championship match, of course, every little nuance matters greatly. So,
Yes, and always maybe always the a6, h6, maybe a small pawn move is played very fast in the game. Maybe you just spent 1 minute think, I can play a6 or not. Maybe I just played it
yes,
first,
and then you say,
yes, why I did this?
For the rest of for the next 5 hours, you think about it.
Yes.
So yeah, and then of course the players of this highest level, they are well aware of those nuances, and But I must say that, and the time situation also shows us that it's much easier to play for white here than for black, because white really is not risking, and she's the one dictating the matters here, right? And we can see by Lei's posture that she's not entirely comfortable, right?
Yes.
She's very well, although this is her normal game posture, right? But you feel that she's solving some problems all the time, and we can see we shuffle the pieces, and we can start to get the feeling of the problems in black's position, right? So.
And actually, if you see yesterday the game, you can compare about two emotions from two players between yesterday and today. They look totally different.
Different, but the same as the other one.
Yes,
yesterday. Yes, it's the chair problem. By the way, I have a small anecdote from. So Lei Tingjie asked to change the chair yesterday.
Actually, I think she already changed the chair. I remember they have the different chair from yesterday.
Yes. So she's not too comfortable with the chairs here.
Yes.
And this is something that it might sound negligible, right? But it's not. For a chess player, it's extremely important, right?
Yes,
to be comfortable where you sit, to have the right height of the chair, right? It's very important. And this can distract, as we said, every little nuance, eventually it can add up to something major. So
yes. And if you haven't got for example, comfortable chair or a comfortable lunch, maybe you will think I'm not in the best emotion today, and it will influence your chess today.
Well, but actually, they say that eating lunch at the right time is actually very important. So you rarely want to eat right before, right? The rule of thumb I know is that you must finish your meal at least 2 hours before the round.
Yes, I think so.
So because you need the blood to go to your brain and not to your stomach, right? So and on the other hand, you don't want to, because sometimes people get a bit nervous if they're hungry or so.
Yes.
It all makes a lot of there are many important things to consider, especially when you're playing a world championship match.
Yes, and I think I see the video of Lei Tingjie. She always do some exercise. Some sports. Yes. So I think she maybe she is an expert in the lunch, dinner, and the sports.
Maybe, and it actually I think the first one who really brought it to really professional levels is Magnus Carlsen, right? Because he has a very strict diet especially during the tournaments. He likes to work out a lot. I think it's always important, and the reason for that is that keeping, just to give some comparisons to people who are not professional chess players. So just imagine that you need to take an exam, right?
Yes.
A math exam but not for 2 or 3 hours, but for 6 hours, right? And you need to be as sharp on the 6 hour, just as sharp as you were in the very beginning.
Yes.
It's not easy, right? And to do that on the 10th game of the tournament, the same as you were on the first game, you need to be very physically fit, right? And so this is also a very important part of the preparation. Not something you can measure, right? Not something you can say, okay, yeah, so, because in chess preparation you can see, right? Okay, so I know Sicilian, I know Najdorf,
yeah.
I know this can be measured. But those little things, your physical fitness, which translates later to slightly better judgment in the end game, right?
Yes,
It's very hard to measure, but it scores you points down the road, right? So, okay, so.
And actually, there is a coach in China once said, if you can have a good fit body. I mean, just if you do some exercise, do some sports, and make you feel very healthy, you will have 50 more points than you have now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So, stop working on openings. Stop working on endgames. Go to the gym, right? So,
yes.
This is yeah. You cannot have one without the other, right? On the highest level, and then we can see that both players are very fit and focused, and they expend a lot of energy, right?
Yes.
They barely walk away from the table, right? So they are always sitting at the table.
Yes.
And it's not an easy task to do.
Yes, I think they are. They sit more times than Ding and Nepo's match.
Well, you remember Ding and Nepo, there were times that none of them were at the board for like 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, so of course they could follow the game from the restroom, from the resting rooms. Yes, but still, you can see much in extreme levels of concentration by both players. Thinking on during the time of the other player as well, using the time as much as they can, and we can see that Ju Wenjun is starting to build up some nice time advantage here.
Yes.
So she's almost half an hour, 20 minutes ahead on the clock already.
Yes, and this is the totally different situation from yesterday. I think yesterday she went into time trouble after 30 moves. I think,
Yes. Well, because the position was demanded it, right?
Yes.
And now it's vice versa. And it will be very interesting to see how Lei can neutralize this pressure. But I like the time that she's taking the time here, because this is really crucial position, which will this move will affect the rest of the game, basically, right? Do you want to play g5, and what are the consequences, right? She's calculating the lines, and more importantly, I think she's trying to see where the pieces go, how she will place the pieces afterwards. And so on the one hand, you don't want to make this committal move, but on the other hand, in those calculations of bishop e7, you struggle to see your next move, right? So you say, okay, I play bishop e7 here, then I run into some knight e5, and what do I do next, right? I haven't really solved much of my problems with this move. So hopefully she has seen it before, and she knows the general ideas of this, because it can be deceivingly, it can look deceivingly calm.
I think some of the lines in Tarrasch goes very similar to this position. Maybe sometimes white has bishop on c2, or maybe rook c1, bishop b1, but almost the same structure.
The structure, the picture is very similar.
And here, Lei Tingjie should make, I think, what decision she made in this position will influence the game. And it. For example, she played bishop e7 or g5. It will shows what she wants to achieve in the game.
Yeah.
Maybe, yes. What position she think is good, or maybe she just play it. For example, bishop e7, it's defensive, but g5, maybe she wants to still put some pressure on her opponent. I'm not sure, but this decision will decide the game, I think.
Yeah, it might well decide the game. And guys, since we are Lei is taking her time, and maybe it's time for us to see some to take a little break and to see some videos, and we will be back in a short while soon. So.
2018年，我第一次拿到了女子世界冠军。2020年对戈尔亚奇金娜那一次对抗赛，在快棋中扳平比分，在后代加赛中战胜对手。每一次对抗赛它都是不同的，但对我来说，我的目标就是去认真的去下好每一盘棋。不管是在棋上，包括在生活上，我觉得我可能要比之前的稳重一点吧，不能说成熟，更稳重一些。现在来说，我也做好准备去迎接这一次的挑战。It's kind of different because when you know your opponent, she knows you well. So for me, I feel it's something new. I mean, in this match, every game is I will do my best. I think I will just try to play every game as best as I can, and also I hope I can to win the match. 战斗到底是我不变的信念和态度，成功卫冕，让属于自己的时代继续。
从候选人赛结束以后，其实时间挺赶的。上一次赢下来了以后呢，心里面也是挺开心的，相当于是打了一个强心剂。每一场棋其实都会是难忘的，但是我觉得在接下来的这场比赛将会是我职业生涯当中最难忘的一场比赛。I think play against a friend is quite interesting, and also for me, she's not only the friend, and she's also a great player in China. So for me, I just respect her very much. I would like to challenge myself. To be honest, because this is my dream, I would like to say I want to win this match. Now probably it's the last step. No, I don't think this is the last step. I prefer to be a simple person. Winning the match is like a goal for me. I mean, I'm a person who likes enjoying to play chess. Results can't change anything for me. 用挑战去创造另一种可能，因为无畏，所以无惧。
大家好，欢迎来到2023国际棋联女子世界锦标赛对抗赛的比赛现场。我是大家的老朋友，国际象棋女子国际特级大师古孝斌。现在让我给大家介绍一下本次比赛的赛场和将要在这里争夺其后桂冠的2位棋手吧。 这里就是上海棋院，也是上海这半程比赛的赛地。本次比赛的赛场非常的大气，就在2楼，我们一起去看一下吧。本次国际棋联女子世界锦标赛对抗赛将于7月4日正式拉开战幕，在卫冕冠军中国上海棋手朱文军和来自中国重庆的挑战者雷挺杰之间展开。他们俩人将进行12轮棋的对决，先得6.5分的一方获得胜利，如打平则通过加赛决出胜负。本次比赛将分为2个阶段进行，7月4日至7月13日在上海进行上半程的争夺，随后转战重庆，于7月14日至7月25日进行下半场的对决。参加这次对抗赛的2位棋手，对棋迷朋友来说绝不陌生。一位是卫冕冠军，已经连续3次获得世界棋后头衔的朱文军，而他的对手同样实力超群的雷挺杰。他们俩同为国家队队员，也是多年的好朋友。为了棋后桂冠，2人将隔盘对立，演绎一场梦幻般的巅峰对决。熟悉国际象棋的朋友，相信大家都知道，5年前的2018年，也是上海到重庆的赛场，朱文军以挑战者的身份战胜了当时的世界冠军中国棋手谭中仪，梦想成真，加冕其后。如今又回到这里，他以3冠在手，在自己的时代里笑傲群芳。这一次，文静内敛的他将迎来雷挺杰的强力挑战。在候选人决赛中，同样是战胜了谭中仪，掀起了一股棋坛青春风暴。这一次的挑战赛也将是雷挺杰职业生涯中最大的一次挑战。他们距离本届棋后头衔都只有1步之遥，但这一步需要他们通过漫长的12盘棋的对决才能分出胜负。没有人可以轻易地带走胜利，那就让我们静下心来，跟随着他们的每一步棋，来享受这一场世界瞩目的女子巅峰之战吧。
2018年，我第一次拿到了女子世界冠军。2020年对戈尔亚奇金娜那一次对抗赛，在快棋中扳平比分，在后代加赛中战胜对手。每一次对抗赛它都是不同的，但对我来说，我的目标就是去认真的去下好每一盘棋。不管是在棋上，包括在生活上，我觉得我可能要比之前的稳重一点吧，不能说成熟，更稳重一些。现在来说，我也做好准备去迎接这一次的挑战。It's kind of different because when you know your opponent, she knows you well. So for me, I feel it's something new. I mean, in this match, every game is I will do my best. I think I will just try to play every game as best as I can, and also I hope I can to win the match. 战斗到底是我不变的信念和态度，成功卫冕，让属于自己的时代继续。
从候选人赛结束以后，其实时间挺赶的。上一次赢下来了以后呢，心里面也是挺开心的，相当于是打了一个强心剂。每一场棋其实都会是难忘的，但是我觉得在接下来的这场比赛将会是我职业生涯当中最难忘的一场比赛。 I think play against a friend is quite interesting, and also for me, she's not only the friend, and she's also like a great player in China. So for me, I just respect her very much. I would like to challenge myself. To be honest, because this is my dream, I would like to say I want to win this match. Now probably it's the last step. No, I don't think this is the last step. I prefer to be a simple person. Winning the match is like a goal for me. I mean, I'm a person who likes enjoying to play chess. Results can't change anything for me. 用挑战去创造另一种可能，因为无畏，所以无惧。
Which of the two will fight to the end and become the new queen? Which of the two will resist the pressure and finally hold the trophy of the victory? Which of the two will inherit the glory of the East? Very soon the battle of wisdom is about to begin. A breathtaking confrontation across the chessboard is imminent.
那我觉得每一次对抗赛都是不同的。我的目标就是认真的去下好每一
Ju
盘棋。
Wenjun has a really strong heart. She will excel at seizing any opportunity. Her willpower will be released on the chessboard, determined to retain her title and stay at the
以
top.
前的比赛每一场棋其实都会是难忘的，但是我觉得在接下来的这场比赛将会是我职业生涯当中最难忘的一场比赛。
Lei Tingjie is the new challenger. She will fight for every inch of the board, eager to showcase her fresh energy and aspiration. Two strong players from the mysterious East, the best teammates and toughest opponents. On the stage of 64 white and black squares, they will demonstrate their best performance and unveil unlimited, exciting possibilities.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the second round, the second game of the World Championship match between Ju Wenjun and Lei Tingjie. And we are back to action, and some changes have been made. But Shu, you wanted to show us something. You found something during the break. The players have missed, or maybe not have missed. Maybe Ju Wenjun decided not to go for it. And we are talking about move 16, right?
Yes. And here white can play, white play bishop a4 in the game and played very fast. Here I think bishop c6 is a line which white can consider it. After black play rook c6 as normal, we can play bishop f6.
Ah, this is beautiful. So the point is that the rook had two defenders just 2 moves ago, and now it has no defenders, and white would get knight, win a pawn with knight takes d5. But you know what? Maybe I was thinking about a little bit about it. Maybe she did not miss it. Maybe she deliberately didn't want to go in it because, again, this is a bit similar to the game we had. She had yesterday. Maybe she didn't want to get it again. The extra pawn for 2 bishops.
Yes. And it is even worse than yesterday's game. White has only 2 knights.
Exactly, yes. And maybe she decided, so she could have won a pawn, and it will be interesting to see if she missed it altogether or she decided not to go into this.
Yes.
But I can see the argument for not going here and instead trying to keep the slight pressure, although not having the extra pawn, right?
Yes.
But keeping the slight advantage. So instead, as you said, instead of this line, and it has to be said also that
if black can take with pawn, maybe.
Yeah, black could take with pawn, but then it really this whole plan makes really no sense at all, right? So you move the rook to c8 to take with the pawn, not really, not making a lot of sense. You are playing a6 to force white to take on c6. If you are playing to take with the pawn, doesn't make any sense. And now white has immediate threats against this weak pawn on a6. So probably black was planning to take on c6 and give up this pawn.
Yes, because if you play rook c8 and now I play queen d3, maybe rook a8 is your move.
Exactly, and this is not how you win world championship matches, right?
Yes.
So probably Lei Tingjie would take on c6 with the rook, and maybe this was her whole idea, you know.
Yes, because she thinks a lot when she played a6.
Right.
Maybe 10 minutes to decide this move.
And maybe Ju Wenjun was, not maybe, we saw that she was thinking along with Lei Tingjie, right?
Yes.
So both players maybe came to the conclusion that you don't really want to change the nature of the game as white to win a pawn which you are not entirely sure you can hold even, right?
Yes.
And give black a very, all of a sudden you are giving black this very nice game. On the other hand, so the game continued after, so Lei Tingjie played b5.
b5, yes.
And she didn't play she did play g5,
yes.
Forced the bishop to g3, exchanged the bishops, and played queen b6, which is the second best square, I think, after f6
yes.
For the queen. B6 it is really also well placed. The problem, I think, she just didn't have enough time to bring the queen to f6, right? Because to do that, you would need to go with the knight to d7, but then
you give
probably queen d3 is a move, right? Or even knight e5 can be very unpleasant.
Yeah, I think knight e5 is good because queen d3 maybe you can play queen f6 to defend.
Right, so queen d6 is not really a threat after queen f6. This comes actually to show the strength of the queen on f6 because this is just one check, right? You don't have anything any continuation after that. But after knight e5, the pressure is quite annoying because now you don't have queen f6 because the bishop is
Yes.
overloaded, right? You can either take on d5 and d7 or vice versa. Of course, not queen d6, but even without queen f6, the pressure is there.
Yeah.
And
White have queen h5 or queen d3. Too much squares for queens to attack the king on the king side, black king.
so, as we said, here we have this good strategical idea of queen knight d7, queen f6, but tactically it doesn't work because there is knight e5, and
Yes.
you don't have time to do that. So Lei Tingjie went for queen b6.
I like this move.
Yeah,
queen b6.
yeah, and it makes now the whole picture really makes a lot of sense, right? So
Yes.
the rooks are placed well. The rook is c8, rook e8. It makes a lot of the story she's telling, right? It's very logical.
Yes.
a6, b5, capturing some space on the queen side. Then only then playing g5, exchanging, so getting rid of this annoying pin, and now the queen goes to b6. And putting pressure now, actually now without the dark square bishops, the d4 pawn can become a weakness, right?
Yes. No, maybe e6 bishop has its position to protect the d5 pawn.
Yeah, not the
That's
best task it can have in the world, but what to do? Somebody has to do the hard work, the dirty work,
Yes.
right? So,
And actually, I said it before when I said the 16th move when Lei Tingjie played b5. Maybe she need to make the decision. She wants to play defensive or play active. I think
she made a decision, right?
yes,
Yeah.
she played very active
And
b5 and g5.
And I really love the way she solved
Yes.
she solved these issues. So let's talk about the weakness of the king side, because we said a lot about it. So the king side is weakened, but how? Let's just catch up with the game. So Ju Wenjun played queen d2. Which is not the most natural move to me, but I think it has the concrete idea of knight takes
Yes.
g5, right?
Yes, knight g5 is a big threat now.
And because, and Lei played
Bishop
bishop g4. So she's basically saying, I don't
Queen
really
d4?
care,
Yes, maybe
because
he
knight
had-
g5 is met with by a queen d4, forcing not forcing, but threatening the queen exchange.
Yes.
And protecting what's important, protecting the knight on f6. So you cannot go back and keep the knights, the queens on the board, because now you just
maybe
rook
e1
e1,
first.
just
yes.
rook e1, and then it's game over basically, because you're just a piece down.
And even if you cannot exchange the queen now, if you trade the queens, knight d4, I still
Right. So
Yeah.
this is even a worse version of losing.
yes.
If it makes any sense to say that. And what can even white do? So we can prevent
Bishop
the
d3.
exchange, but then
Yes.
again, even bishop f5 probably, right? It
Yes.
looks tempting. This is black is all over
Yes.
all over the board. So
Because better at least.
yes,
yes.
yes. So knight g5 is not does not work here. But if not
Yeah.
g5, so the concrete threat is to take and just win a pawn, right? So it's also very concrete now.
Yes.
She starts putting a lot of pressure on white right away, and if you need to, the only way to protect the pawn is to put the rook under this annoying pin, right?
Yes.
So you don't feel like you do it. Well, our silicon friend, comes up with bishop d1 here.
Oh, it's really a very defensive move.
Actually, but actually, I have to say, the computer prefers black here. Not much, but
Yes.
black is third pawn up. So
Yes.
comparing to move 16, as we said, here was the crucial moment of the game, right? And Lei Tingjie spent more than 20 minutes here,
Yes.
and she came up with this very forced sequence, which we kind of love to see for black, right?
Yes.
So
I think I'm not sure she played the best line of the computer, but I think she played the best line I can imagine in this position.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it looks like black is really. She managed to solve all her problems.
Not only to solve
this,
the problem.
actually, and this maybe it gets us back to this decision of Ju Wenjun, of whether it was still
Bishop a4 is
whether Bishop a4 was still the best move, or maybe she should have gone for this anyway, for this
yeah.
taking the pawn, although.
Give two bishops.
Although you know, there is always this thing that yesterday's games or one of the previous games might affect your future reasoning, right? So
Yes.
yesterday she was suffering in a kind of a similar position, right? So not entirely, but it was kind of the same pressure. Even the rook was on the third rank, right?
Yes.
So and maybe she said, no, I don't want this experience again.
Yes,
And
I think so. Maybe this decision is rejected because of yesterday's game.
perhaps, yeah, might well be that. Of course, we can also wait for the press conference. We will try to ask her that.
Yes.
Okay, so some choices for white.
Actually, I'm very looking forward to her answer.
Yes.
Yes.
What about rook e3? Is this a move here? Actually,
just,
I'm not
yes.
even. I'm not even
The queen,
protecting.
yes.
Yeah, I thought I'm threatening on f6, but after queen knight d4, the knight is protected.
Yes. So maybe if white play just rook e8 and rook d1,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it's
But rook d1, then I feel like, okay, what's your next move?
I really don't
For
know.
instance, okay, I make a reasonable move, king
Yeah.
g7, right? And I look at you and I say, ha ha ha.
Yes, it's
Because, well, now this is quite annoying, right?
yes. The position I think turns around. White has some ping before, but now black.
Absolutely,
takes the-
absolutely. And still, it's around 0-0-0-0-ish
Yes.
yet. It's around equal. But the feeling you get, especially after 5 moves ago, that
Yes,
you
you
had
have
this
some
very
advantage.
nice edge, and now suddenly you're the one on the receiving end of this pin, and
It will give some confidence for black when black comes from a weak position to a better position.
yes. But what else? It looks almost as if white has to do that, right?
Yes. Actually, I think I have a feeling that, for example, I play against someone. If I play white, I have a position which computer said I'm have an advantage like 0.5. I will not think I have too much advantage. But if I play black and the computer said I have a 0.5 for black advantage, I will think I have achieved a lot of things.
Yes, I agree. I
Yes.
agree, because it's also very psychological here, and I think psychologically, Lei is very well placed here now. She doesn't look relaxed at all. I think
Yeah.
she might be feeling that it's her time to pound, so to speak, on the success, right? So
Yes.
now it's time to try and really get some grip of the position. But the danger here, of course, that you can always over push. How do we proceed with black? So I actually like a move like King G7 here.
Yes, because King G7 just like I throw the ball away to you, and you need to consider what you should do next.
I think it's the practical choice, and you're basically saying, okay, now you think, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you think.
And I will think on your turn. On the other hand, of course, such an approach can cost you the advantage if there was something concrete here. For instance, our friend here, whose name shall not be said, is suggesting knight a5.
Actually, knight a5 is also a very natural move.
Absolutely. Although I like keeping the pressure on d4, but the knight on c4 is so beautiful that I'm willing to give up the pressure on d4 for that even. Yeah. And the game might be very simple for black, right? You want to play knight c4, and then at some point even b4, queen b4, open the b file and
Yes.
start asking some serious questions, right? So, for example, after knight a5, the first line of the computer is something like along the lines of queen c1 so basically getting ready for knight c4, maybe to meet it with even b3 and a4 or something like this.
Yes.
At least with b3, and then we think. But then black just plays king g7, very solidly. The beauty of it is that now with this spin, you don't have to really, you're not worried about those sacrifices on g5.
And actually, white cannot easily get rid of the pin.
I will even say more than that. White cannot easily make a move here.
Yes.
So the best the computer can come up with is bishop b1 here.
Actually, bishop b1, can I just easily play bishop f3 and knight b3 next to take on?
Oh, this is one approach, but maybe this is even a concession.
Maybe just take back on d5, maybe for white. Queen d3.
Because queen d3, right, forcing you back and then just winning back the material.
Yes.
And it's actually white who is now better because the bishop is, and the king, now the king side, the weakened king side becomes really felt, right?
Yes.
But we can, for instance, the computer is just playing something like rook c8, keeping the pressure.
Yes, actually, my first thing to consider after knight a5 is b3, and I think after b3, rook c8, white will.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's see it again in a second. So this is. Again, this is not much because black doesn't really have any serious threats as well. But but it's clear that now it's black who's it's exactly the reversed position from 5-6 moves ago.
Yeah. It's like for example, a football match. Maybe the score is 0-0, and both teams hasn't scored goal, but in the game, some team is attack for almost 70% of the time, and you are always defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the feeling for the fans also are different. And I think now black can attack from king side to queen side, and also on the in the center, the position is white need to worry about her position.
Wow, what an interesting turn of events. And this is and
Ju Wenjun takes on.
She is taking the time because because you need to take the time. But wait, oh no, sorry.
Let's see.
It's now Lei's turn.
Yes.
What would you do here? If given the choices, maybe there are other moves actually. But these are, I think these are two main moves that come to mind, right?
Yes.
Which one would you choose?
I think I will choose knight a5.
Knight a5 is
Yes,
more
to-
direct, yeah? Ah, we both missed.
Yes, she played the
King f8. Wow, this is, I think this is a, if I understand her correctly, this is a very deep move.
Actually, I don't.
Maybe I'm mistaken, but
Mm.
just bear with me for a second. I think she's getting ready for to move the knight at some point. Although I'm not entirely sure how can she move the knight, but the king is protecting the bishop, the rook on e8 and the e file to prevent white from ideas of rook e1
Yes.
with threats on the e file. And so now after in various lines, after for instance rook e1, black would have the option of taking and winning the pawn on d4, right?
Yes.
And because the king covers everything, or even maybe lines like rook e1 and then you take first on e1 and the king covers, the queen cannot enter. So maybe
Yes, yes.
this is an idea. Another idea I can think of is to get away from potential checks on g5.
Yes.
And another question is, why not?
Yes. Because
You have the luxury to make
Yes.
such a move, right?
yes, I play a move like king f8, and it's your turn. How should you do now?
So it's a valid point that she claims basically the king on f8 is better placed than the king on
Yeah.
g7, and I see the reason behind that, right? Because if we imagine that at some point there are some tactics and we win the pawn on d4, right?
Yes, yes.
So with the king on g7, it can become tricky with the diagonal, with the queen coming to the long diagonal.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes I have a check on this diagonal.
Yes. So for this reason, knight king f8 is a very natural move. Once you see it, and then it can at least be explained, right?
Yes. And now the question comes to white.
Question, yes. And the computer, our friend, suggests before probably preventing knight a5, right?
Yes, but before
I don't like before.
Yes, because
positioning, right?
I cannot see how white can put your knight on into c5, but I can see maybe black.
How black can go?
Yes.
And once the knight manages to land on c4, it can be game over.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a very, very committal move.
Yes.
I wouldn't play it at this stage. But then again, coming back to this annoying question, but what do you do?
I think it's really a tough moment for Ju Wenjun, especially I think she was better in the opening, but this position is totally not her favor.
Yeah,
Yes.
and especially since she had such a pleasant position just 5 moves ago,
Yes.
it makes it even harder to play it now than if it was just from the very beginning it was just such a position, and then you're getting into this mood of, okay, I'm holding this position and I have to make exact moves, right? But then all of a sudden you hit this pleasant edge, and now you're struggling to find the plan.
Yeah.
How about queen
Queen
d3? Is this a move? I'm pretending that maybe I want to play something like rook
rook
d2 and get away.
still not easy to get
Not
away.
easy to get away, yeah?
Yeah, but this is a plan.
At least.
Yes. If I just go rook,
Actually, you maybe even have... you don't
but
have
now,
sorry,
yeah, rook 95.
What did you want to go? Rook e4?
No, I want to say rook e6 maybe, but it's not
Rook
make-
e4 doesn't work. Yeah, it would be beautiful if it worked because of knight d5.
Ah, yes, 95, yes.
It's beautiful refutation. Because if not, it could be quite unpleasant because we are threatening to take, right? And you cannot take on e4 because this is probably too... I don't know, actually.
Yes, but
This is fair, but it doesn't matter. Knight d5 wins on the spot, so... Queen d3, knight a5. What did you
actually,
suggest?
I even consider something like rook e6, king e7, king d6, but
Oh, beautiful.
and when I protect the d5 pawn, maybe I can play knight e4. But I mean, this need very accurate.
Execution, yeah.
Yes.
Not to get mated in the process of this brilliant positional plan, yeah.
Yes. But anyway, after rook e6, still white cannot make some.
Well, maybe we can try to... Actually, the bishop on c2 is doing absolutely nothing, especially after the
Yes.
king left, right? So, and maybe we can try... And even, you know what, thinking of it, maybe even here, in this very position, instead of queen d3, maybe we can go bishop b3.
Yes.
And, okay, at least we get some counterplay, right? And we are asking you... okay, what do you do? So 94 comes to mind, but
94
it's,
maybe
even 95, yeah, or you just go away.
no 95. Yes, you can knight d2 and take bishop.
Ah, the bishop is also hanging. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
But 94.
Let's show it. So
Yeah.
okay, 94. If knight d5 is of course another blunder, which I produce in big quantities.
But 94, white can just play queen d3, I think.
Queen d3.
Yes. And I can, if you take a knight c3, I play queen c3. And now I have two pieces to attack on d5.
So and I basically committed myself to doing something like that. Ah, but you know what? Wait.
I have to play g takes e.
Yes, I have something of my own.
Oh,
And actually, I
as
have to say that I saw it even without a friend.
yes, but
It's-
if this played in the game, I will be a very big surprise and.
Well, let's
Yeah.
show it, but it is beautiful enough that we can show. So first of all,
Yeah.
you cannot, the knight on e5 is untouchable because of this checkmate, which is quite beautiful, I think. I think that, okay, if you go back, then
just knight c3.
knight c3,
It's,
and it's exactly what we wanted, right?
Yes,
To get this
this-
is our basically as close to a dream in this position as we
Yes.
can get, right?
This is the dream for white in the in the open.
Exactly. This is what
Yeah.
white was aiming for, but black got it. So, and the only issue we need to resolve is what about knight takes d5,
d5,
right?
yes.
So both queens are under attack now. And if we
And
take, you take, and now
knight-
our knights are hanging.
Both hanging.
How
But
do
I
we
can
take? We
knight
take
e.
like this?
Yes.
Knight d or knight e f2, right? Like this.
Knight ef2. Yes.
And rook d2. What is this? The bar says you're just wasting my time.
But
It's a draw, go home.
if I play rook e1,
But we are
and
excited,
rook
right?
b1 is this.
Let's think. Rook a1, rook b1.
But rook b1.
Maybe I have something like. So you're not threatening
Yes,
anything. yeah?
yes, I do nothing. Yes,
So I
this is
can maybe just move my bishop.
Yes, maybe bishop b7 next move, something like this.
Yeah. But the bar didn't like this move. What does the bar want from me? Ah, the bar is very tricky. So he wants to just exchange this one and take this one.
Ah, yeah, yes, yes.
Beautiful. So
Yes, very
so
beautiful plan.
basically he's saying, okay, this one is dead.
Yeah, this winning
Very
for white.
nice. Very nice.
So after rook d2,
Rook d2.
yeah, seems this endgame is very difficult to play.
Yes, yes, and I'm not sure even who is better. The computer, it's funny. It says that you have to
To
basically make
capture
a
the-
draw,
make-
make a draw by repetition.
yeah,
It's always a draw. Don't waste my time. It's a draw.
yes. Because if you don't want to take the draw, bishop c2 is winning for white
Yeah.
to capture a knight.
But what about bishop c2 here? Then just rook
Rook
d4
d4,
and
yes.
we are hanging, yeah?
Yes.
And you cannot take on f2 because this is just lost.
Yes.
And suddenly this knight is also not feeling so well
Yeah.
here. And look at the king on f8. It's extremely important, preventing the knight from going to e7. Right? So if the knight went to c8,
Yeah, yes,
the
yes.
king on f8 is preventing. So Lei
e7.
calculated all of this and. Okay, so we have this position on the board, and there is still a 20-minute difference between both players, but now.
But now I think the position is totally different from
Yes.
the 20 minutes before. 20 minutes difference before. And I think 35 minutes for black to play this position to 40 moves is not too difficult.
Yeah, it's quite enough. It's quite enough, but there is a decision. It looks like. Yeah, Ju Wenjun is thinking, and we now we are basically we're thinking whether I don't believe b4 will be played. So
Yes,
I would consider one of those two moves as white. I would consider b4 for a short while, but I would probably throw it away as in too committal. I don't want to make this move so
Yes.
without really this big necessity.
I think bishop b3 seems the normal move in the position. I mean, if I play white, I will consider the bishop b3 after I find I have no moves to improve the position. Only bishop b3 can.
But then you need to calculate this
The-
move, and for this reason,
Yeah.
by the way, Ju Wenjun just made queen d3. She played queen d3.
Yes.
So this takes knight e4 off the table, and now bishop b3 is probably a threat, right?
Yes.
Or a positional threat, not a threat
yes.
in an understanding that it's
Yes. Bishop
going
b3.
to win something.
Yes. It's a move to improve the position to
Absolutely.
give some pressure for black.
And I have a question for you. Is this a
Yeah.
move?
The same question is
You had
in
the
my
same.
mind.
You had the same question for me. Okay, let's
Yes.
try both to answer it. So first of all, I would. I think we need to check what happens here, and I thought
Yes.
about queen b5 here. How is this evaluated?
I'm not sure white should play knight c5 or take and the next.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we can take, and the bar hates this move. And you know why? Because of rook e2.
Oh,
This is not obvious at all, but this is crushing. Because you don't have rook d2 because of bishop takes f3.
And if I calculate it correct, there is something, maybe black should sacrifice the c6 knight. For example, bishop d3, rook b2, bishop b5, and b takes a3.
Ah, beautiful. And again, almost like yesterday,
Yes.
where we have this, we had this idea of pawn promotion, but this time white cannot even bail out with a draw.
Yeah.
It's totally lost now. So queen takes b5, and this is not an obvious move. Rook e2 is not obvious at all without the help of the bar. So the move, and if we go knight c5 here,
Yes, this looks very natural.
it looks very natural. But then you have to answer yourself, what do you do here?
Ah,
Because
yes.
if you take with the rook, then probably rook. I believe rook e2 is again it's a very actually strong move.
Yes, I think so.
Which you can do nothing about. Oh, although wait, now
Bishop
we have
a4.
this idea. And strangely enough, I see the line, but I don't understand it. So the computer still gives up the bishop, the knight.
I am consider this move because rook d1. Yes, checkmate.
And bishop f5. And
Yes.
Wow, well, this is beautiful.
And if you play some.
Wow, now I have to show it. I have to show it. Not every day. And now you choose.
Yes.
I think this is more beautiful.
Yes.
This is okay, so this is a very beautiful line. And basically this is totally lost for white.
Yes.
And it always, it often happens then, when you exchange a key defender in position, the position suddenly falls apart, right? And often it is a queens, right? So often, for instance, in Benko, black often, although being a pawn down, often wants to exchange the queens because without the queens, suddenly white cannot really hold the whole position, and then all the knights start coming from all kinds of weird places. And here again, we can see that after this queen exchange, white might find herself in some trouble. Although, of course, rook takes d3 here is a blunder. It should be said, the correct way to go here is to take with the bishop, covering the entrance point.
But I think bishop d3 is difficult to move to mate.
Psychologically, right? Because you are giving up the pawn, right? So basically, so you're saying that, okay, I'm going to defend this position now. With
bishop a6 should play,
being a pawn down.
Yes, I think it's...
And with this beautiful bishop on f3, it looks extremely scary. Although the computer somehow is extremely unimpressed with close to inequality. I don't really see how this is. So maybe the plan is just to push the a pawn, and it's very strong. But as a human, you don't go into this.
I will never go this.
It's extremely scary to go here.
Yes, and actually after bishop f3, I found some interesting line for black. For example, I just plan. Maybe black can play knight g4 and push the h pawn.
Oh yeah, all the way, right? So we have a passer of our own, which is quite important. For instance, you go back, right, knight g4. And then 3 moves later, you will be checkmated. So, wow, not a move. And the aces on the board. Scared you are, I think, right? Because the blows come from all over the places. And look at Ju Wenjun's. She does not look happy at all.
Yeah.
And
I think the position is even worse than yesterday. The situation for her is even worse as yesterday, because today
I might well I agree.
Because maybe the pressure from today or yesterday is almost the same in the according to the position, but today she played white.
Yeah,
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference, and she played white, and she also got the advantage from the opening.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It has to be said. And I have to say, as we already spoke about it yesterday. Lei Tingjie is playing extremely impressive chess.
Yes.
Extremely impressive. So far, all the games I've seen her play, right? So if we go back to her candidate's final match against Tan Zhongyi,
yes,
the only game that she lost, she was actually winning, right?
Yes,
and then she
lost
mixed,
time.
she mixed up in the time trouble. She just got lost the thread of the game, but she was pressing all the games, all of their games. She was really dictating. And here we are seeing the second game, and she is, well, she has the match initiative so far, right? You would say.
yes.
Maybe it's a bit too early to say, but I'm really impressed by her play, and she's playing. She's not playing some random player, you know. She's
Yes.
playing the world champion. Who by the way, is also in a great shape, as we have
Yes.
seen just 2 weeks ago, right, or 3 weeks ago. Very impressive. And again, being said, all that being said, the computer is still unimpressed. You can see the bar, guys. It's near equality.
Yeah.
Black has, but as the lines show, it's anything but equal, right?
Yes.
You cannot say it's an equal position. We go home because the more lines you calculate, the more worried you become with white.
Yes, actually, I to say that easily, the first line I see in the bar to play the something like Queen A3, Bishop B3. I think it's not human move.
Absolutely, absolutely. The line that is given as one that holds the equality, it's very hard to make such a decision to go into this
Yes.
voluntarily because, and then even if you somehow see that you don't lose anything immediately, but then you ask yourself this question: and what's my next move?
Yes.
Right?
Why should I do something like this?
Why
Yeah.
do it to myself, right? So,
Yes.
and
And then maybe you will think this position maybe is a way to play, but it's hard to really to play like this.
Absolutely. And also you might go into it if everything else loses by force, right? So
Yes.
so then you say, okay, I have to go here, and I go here, and maybe I hold. But okay, maybe you
Bishop
see
B1.
that and you play Bishop B1. This is a
Yes.
much more normal move, right?
Yes, this looks better than.
It looks much better, right?
Yes.
And what now? So we can keep the pressure with some knight e4, perhaps.
If we play knight.
e2. What is white's plan? So you
Rook
want
E2
to
is not.
rook e2 is
yes.
impossible, right? Rook
Impossible.
e2 because knight c3 is winning. So it's never late to blunder.
But I think knight e4 is a move.
Knight e4 is a move.
And I think before the candidates, Lei Tingjie maybe the tournament before Lei Tingjie played the candidates is the in Sweden. In I don't know how to say it, but she wins the champion. I think maybe 2 rounds before. Do you remember
the Grand Open? Yeah, or it was
I think
yeah, but she was crushing the field there.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. When she gets going, it's very hard to stop her. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 94. It's not easy to play with white, right? So you have to start bringing your pieces back, but then this queen is a bit misplaced here. So let's take a look if we can make a more. But queen a3 is almost forced, right? Otherwise, we just. So you cannot play queen c3 because of rook c8, right?
Yes, and queen d2, rook e2.
Or even, the computer says even stronger, knight e4.
Ah, yes.
You have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And if queen c7, now rook c8, you cannot cover on c5.
Yes.
And of course, if you take, then this pin starts working again against you. So, and this is also, this is another thing that the more you calculate, every line you calculate, this is bad, this is worse, this is even worse, this is bad, this is bad, and it gets to you, right? So you start feeling a bit depressed when nothing works for you. And she caught up on time. Look at this. 35 minutes against 32. Yeah. So this huge time advantage just evaporated. And
I think this, according to the first two games, Lei Tingjie plays well in time. I think the time control she controls better.
Yeah, she manages very well, and I think it was maybe one of her things that she worked to make sure there are no surprises here.
Yes, because I think, for example, in this game, she spent her time more useful.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to.
I loved the time management so far. Also, yes, absolutely. Wow, not an easy decision for Ju Wenjun, for the world champion.
Yes, but she actually the last world champion match between she and Ju Wenjun and Grandmasters, I think she faced a lot of difficulties, like the two games in this match. Like the two games in this match, but she solved a lot.
Yes, you don't become a world champion for nothing, right? You need to have great fighting spirit. You need to have great skills, of course, to be psychologically stable, to know even to escape after defeat, right?
Yes.
Because against Goryachkina, she was down, right? She was trailing.
Yes, I think the 12 classical games in Goryachkina plays better.
Yes.
But the score is 6-6, and Ju Wenjun wins in the repeat games.
Yes. So she has been here. She knows how to deal with these kind of situations. But again, this is a new story, a different story, right?
Yes.
She's playing a different opponent. As you can see, it's White's turn to move, but look at the determination in Lei Tingjie's posture, right? She's all there. You can feel like she's part of the board. She's inside it, right?
Actually, I think this is not very easy. I mean, if I play, of course, I haven't played such important games. If I played a game not very important in my life, when I think I have some advantage, I will walk around the hall and just relax myself. And when my opponent play a move, I just come back to focus on the game. But yes, she focused 20 minutes with Ju Wenjun's time.
Absolutely. Actually, I once had a horrible start of some tournament. It was a while back. And this is also my style. It always used to be my style. I used to walk a lot during the games. And then I started like 1 out of 3 or 1.5 out of 4 against really weak opposition. And then I said, okay, stop being
this.
silly, you know. And you're not getting up from the table during the whole game.
Yeah.
So, and basically, until the end of the game, I just sat there and I played there. And I think I scored like 5 out of 5 or 4.5 out of the remaining 5 games against much stronger opponents, and it was a strong open also back then. So the more concentrated you are, of course it's difficult physically, it's much more difficult, but it really works and it gives you a ton of difference in the quality of your game, right? So
yes.
And you can see that all the elite players, even if they're walking, they're not relaxing, right?
Yeah,
so
they're
thinking about the game, they're looking at the game, and you can take, for instance, people like Peter Svidler, right? So he almost never sits down at the table, but he doesn't really need the board to calculate, because he's such a brilliant calculation, you know. So and okay, now we are getting an image of Ju Wenjun, and she is concerned.
Yes. I think this position costs her maybe 20 minutes, but I think.
What will she play? What do you think will she play? Will she go into this knight c5 that we saw in
this endgame?
The endgame that looks a bit scary?
I think if I play white, I will not want to go.
You don't want to go here, right? So
yes. It really looks like white will lose.
But actually, I'm curious. How does the machine even hold this? Or you played knight g4 first, yeah?
Yes, maybe knight g4.
Okay, because so it starts pushing and we start pushing. How does it even work out?
Knight b3 is important. Maybe.
It can even calmly, it goes here even. And what, bishop f1?
But after bishop f1, you will never have bishop b7. Then I will always have d4 to stop your pawn. So I think like maybe will have more confident to play this position.
Absolutely. I would, in this position, I would never think it's a 0-0-0.
Yes.
And this is exactly what the computer gives. This is totally crazy. Yes, and what did Ju Wenjun do?
Ju Wenjun played a move? Or?
She just wrote a move, yes. I don't see the move on the video yet.
Yeah. She played 8x b4.
Oh, she took on b4.
Yes, she played the best move.
Wow, she played the best move. And this just shows you how great a player she is.
Yes. This is a very big ability to play the best move when the position is very hard to play.
So, and is she planning to probably right after knight takes b4? What else? What else can she plan instead of queen a3?
Yes, I think knight b4 should played by black. Nothing else I can see for black, and knight b4 queen a3 is also almost forced. Can white play queen b3? But I think maybe just black to take the bishop, and rook e2 maybe. If white to play queen b3 here.
Yeah, it looks very unpleasant. Yeah. Or I would even consider, you know, maybe something like, is queen c4 a move here?
Yes.
Or maybe it's too. too clever. Or trying to be too clever. Right? Can never be too clever.
I like this move. Actually queen c4. White has to exchange, I think. And if exchange,
Exchange, then white is probably
yes, because just
not so
easily knight f d5 next
But
move.
maybe, but actually, when I come to think of it, what you suggested, take on c2 and rook e2, isn't it just winning material by force?
Yes, because I
the
think
the knight is hanging there. Yes.
yes. And if you play rook d2, I can play bishop f3. If I
Yes, again overloading, right?
yes. And bishop f3, g takes f3. I even
You take on d2, yes or no?
yes. I mean rook d2 of course wins, but maybe rook e1 just checkmate.
Ah.
Yes.
Ah.
So I think it's winning for black. I cannot see how white can save the game. Computer said white can play king c5, but just king g7. And it said queen b5 takes, for example, king f1, rook c2, knight c5, rook b2, just easily.
This is
Wings up on.
a technical. Yeah, this looks like a technical win.
Yes. So
Okay, so she will. She probably plans to play queen a3.
queen a3, yes.
And Lei is a bit surprised. It looks like by this move,
Yeah.
because if she wasn't surprised, she would probably responded by now. Already,
Yes, yes. And do you think Lei will regret to play king f8?
Yeah, but you know, this is you can in such positions you cannot really be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Because had you played king g7 in some other line, the king
Yes.
would be wrongly placed there. So,
Yeah. If you play
but
king
this is
g7,
funny. But this is really funny that you would never guess that this would be the point that the king is misplaced
yes.
because of queen a3. Anyway, okay, so let's see how we proceed here. So queen a3 is understandably the move.
King g7.
But now, king g7, we also think, right? It's the most natural move. It's hard to
Yes.
see a better
I think,
alternative. Yeah?
Yes, king g7 is very natural.
So we said bishop b3. Let's take a look.
Yes,
If
take a look.
after all, if Ju Wenjun does play bishop b3, it will
Yes.
be a complete wow. Although I think that bishop b1 looks more natural, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, because you really don't want to cut your pieces away.
It looks more safe.
It's more safe and more human. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yes.
how do we proceed here? Is queen e2 a move?
Queen e2, white can play knight c3.
Knight c3. Okay, so
Yes.
we don't want to allow that.
Even
And we
can-
said knight e4, right?
yes, and knight c3. I
And
remember
after knight
we.
c3, we stopped for some reason. Okay, and we go back. Let's say to b6 or b7.
b6 maybe looks more
b6,
natural.
yeah. And to target d4. Sorry.
Actually, after queen b6, it's not easy for white to make a move. You cannot move your rook and knight.
Oh, why not rook? Can we play something like rook e1?
Yes, bishop f3 you can take. I cannot
Yes,
take on d4.
the
yes.
point is that I want to take. to take on f2 with the pawn, right?
Yes.
So
Yes,
maybe okay. So maybe rook e1, right? But again, the queen looks a bit misplaced, right? But
Yes.
but maybe we are holding. Maybe we are holding with our teeth. Ah, but actually, you know what? I think if rook e1, we need the rook protected. So maybe the move is actually to go here. The point is that now
yes.
after here, I will take, and I have this knight d2, very unpleasant.
Yes,
right? So
it's winning for black.
it goes everywhere.
Yes, if you play rook e8, I play queen e8. Your queen now is really locked.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, this is actually a nice variation, right? So
Yes,
if you take,
queen
check,
e1
check,
and checkmate. Yes.
checkmate. And if king h2 immediately, then just
Knight
take
f3 and g4.
g4.
Yes,
Beautiful.
beautiful. Yes.
Okay, so maybe, and maybe I actually want to take on g3.
Ah, yes, that's a big threat. Yes.
You know, when you have a queen on a3, all
Yeah.
kinds of threats become possible. You know? So
Yes, even maybe knight g3, knight g3, f g3, queen g3 is also a threat.
actually, yes, yes. So it might also be relevant.
So I think it's maybe you white need to play knight.
How to play?
Yes, knight a2 a move, but it looks very strange.
Knight a2.
Yes, the bar said it's very bad.
Yeah, but why? I don't really see immediately why. Ah! You cannot take with the queen because this is hanging and this we already seen,
yes.
right? So this is just crushing.
Yes, this at least the queen h3.
Queen h3 and,
G1 and
you cannot keep the king.
Yes, I can take the rook.
And we just
Rook e2 just.
right. Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
oh, you could
queen
even
e2,
you can even take the rook, right? So
Yes.
anything basically wins here.
Yes, and after queen h3, if you play king g1 instead, just rook e2. Here.
Yeah, then if the rook comes to the second rank, again, this is what happens when your
Yeah.
pieces are on the A file and the king is on the G file. This is often a recipe for disaster, right? So,
Yes.
but I have to come clean a little bit. I kind of peeked at the engine line when suggesting queen b8. So queen b8 is not really a here. Queen b8 is not a very natural human move, right?
Yeah.
Because the natural move is really to put the queen on b6 to put some pressure on d4, or at the very least to put it on maybe b7 to keep an eye on d5, right? b8 is. But again, if you see this idea, and of course, Lei Tingjie is an extremely sharp tactical player.
Yes.
So it's very in her style to see that, right?
Yes, if you see knight g3, I think queen
Then
b8.
then it's almost automatic, right? So
Yes, and after queen b8 and the threat of knight g3, I think white should be in big surprise and in big worry.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that works now for Ju Wenjun is the time situation, and she has 9 more minutes on the clock, and it is.
Actually, I'm very surprised that Lei Tingjie spent a lot of time here.
She is and still is spending. So obviously she was thrown a little bit off guard with this 8x before. as we said, because she probably considered knight b8 it to
It's
be
a
impossible
just a-
because of knight b4, right?
Yes.
Or maybe she's now she's maybe calculating and queen takes b3.
Ah, yes, because bishop d3, I can take on d4.
So after
Yes.
bishop d3, yeah, you have actually a pleasant decision here. So this is kind of similar to what we saw, right?
Yes.
So if we go here, then
Take.
and strangely enough, in the previous line with the a pawn,
Yes, and even white has a
white has more
one
pawns
pawn.
now. But then it was the computer was giving a draw, basically, and now it's -1 for black. So, and you see, and this is a difference. I can, for instance, I admit I do not understand why.
Yes.
I do not understand why this is such a big difference with white having 2 pawns on the b file instead of 1 pawn on the a file. That the other one being a draw and this one being virtually lost.
But if Lei Tingjie don't choose queen d3 and knight d4 to play knight b4 instead,
so she can.
I think knight b4 is just a draw. I think she would not. I think she will not choose knight b4.
Knight before,
I mean
you
this
think she will
position.
go here? Yeah, she would go.
I mean, if she play the queen d3.
Yes.
If she play queen d3 after bishop d3, she will. I'm sure she will play knight d4.
Yes.
Otherwise,
yes,
she
yes.
just play knight b4 before queen d3.
Absolutely, yes,
Yeah.
I agree. So if you go into this line, you go there for this line, and the computer is actually saying that after knight c5. So this position, in case you wondered, is 0-0-0.
Yes.
The point being, I cannot tell you because I don't know. What does it mean? It goes rook a1 here.
Actually, I can understand this is 0.00, but I cannot understand
Why the other one was
Yes.
right. So
this looks not bad for white, I think.
right,
I can-
because the pawn actually this pawn does feel a bit dangerous, right? And
Yes.
you don't have the pawn advantage. So I can I can understand that, and for this reason, I think it's also visually kind of understandable here that when you calculate what Lei is doing right now, right?
Yes,
She's
yes.
calculating this line, and she's not sure it's winning for her, right? At all.
Yes.
So for this reason, but it's very understandable that she takes the time.
Yes, yes.
Because
Now
this
we
is
can-
a very critical moment, right?
Yes.
So because this could well be just winning immediately, right?
Yes. If white cannot defend knight d4.
Yes, because queen d3 you have to take with the bishop, right? You cannot take with the rook on
Yeah.
d3 because of knight
Knight
takes
b4.
d4 before, and this is now big problematic. Because rook c3, there is rook e2.
e2.
You have to
Okay.
keep the rook on the second rank, and now probably knight e4, right? Or what is the move here? Or maybe rook c8.
Rook c8, knight c5. I should play this.
Yes. Maybe this.
Or
is
maybe
not so
knight
bad
b4,
also.
rook e2 instead of knight b.
And she played what did she play? She took on d3, and bishop d3
Yes.
immediately. Yeah, I think maybe I'm mistaken. Don't take my word for it because we don't have.
Yes, I see
official-
this.
Oh, she took with the rook. She took with the rook.
Took with the rook.
Interesting. So
Rook
the
e2.
point being that here she probably plans to play rook d2.
Can I play rook e2 before?
Oh, before
knight?
instead of knight d4.
Yes.
This is interesting. Yes, rook e2 looks strong. So So if I go rook c3, then we come
Yes.
back to this line by transposition, which is extremely strong. We just win a pawn, keeping basically all the advantages of our position, right?
Yes. We cannot take the pawn, but the knight.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
So we cannot take the. Wow.
But anyway, it's maybe we can do this again. To
Yeah, where the
I mean maybe
instead of, you mean here, right?
yeah.
Sorry. Rook e2,
Europe, yeah.
rook c3, knight takes b4. Where does the bishop go?
Bishop.
It's not easy to find a move, yeah.
Yes,
We have to go here. Actually, we can take and start
Ah yes, knight e4. Yeah.
knight e4, yeah?
Yeah. It's
Again, this knight is misplaced.
Mm.
We are pressing very hard on the second file, on the second rank.
yeah.
And but Lei took on d4 with the knight. Took on b4 with the knight.
Yes,
And
actually, I really don't know why rook e2. How
rook
to?
e2
Yes.
is actually very strong. I agree.
Yeah.
But maybe bishop
Bishop
d1
d1, bishop f3.
and check. Yeah,
Yes.
but you
Sorry,
take
sorry.
here.
I,
Yeah.
I have some mistake. I think knight b4. I don't see you can play rook d2.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think my rook is on e2. Yeah, very stupid mistake. Yeah. But maybe.
Yeah,
you
maybe here it's holding. Oh, actually, maybe g4.
Different. You can knight c3 maybe.
Knight
Yeah.
c3, yeah, because you cannot take because
Yes,
of knight
yes.
e4. But it's not really threatening anything. So,
Yes. So.
so for that reason, Lei Tingjie took on b4.
Yes. Yeah. So after the position we just talk about after rook d2, I think white holds.
In
Yeah.
the previous one, yeah, and maybe here also here it looks like rook d2 is also the only almost the only move here,
Yes.
right?
Rook d2.
What do we do here? Is knight e4 a move here?
Yes.
And then
knight
maybe
e2.
rook e2 you can hold. You're holding, yeah.
Rook e2. Can I play knight g3?
Ah, yes, probably yes. Knight g3 with this double attack, so we have to take on e8.
Yes.
But now the problem is that the rook is removed, and we take on c2.
And even I can win
beautiful
on
tactic.
another pawn maybe.
And another one is coming. Yes.
Yes.
Just to make sure, right? So, rook d2 is on the board, and now Lei is thinking what to do here. Knight e4 looks as like a very likely move. What else can we suggest? Is there another option? And also, we need to consider what happens if white takes on e4,
Yes.
right? Is this even enough? So we play we take with the rook or with the pawn? With the pawn, I think that white is very well placed for pushing the d pawn, right? Because if, for instance, if we take here,
Yeah.
knight e5,
Yes. And you cannot play bishop e6 because knight c5.
and bishop, yeah, and
Yeah.
then suddenly white is, it feels that white,
And
all the worst is behind, right?
yes.
So after bishop e4, rook
Yes, we
e4
can take with
keeps some pressure, but then maybe still knight e5, yes? Maybe
Yeah, I
it's
think
not that.
bishop f3
Bishop f3.
takes and rook e1. And here here your rook is locked. Maybe I can. But knight d3 is the threat next move.
Yeah, I want to go into this rook endgame.
Can I go a5 now?
I'm sure you can. Well, but as you said,
I rook b1. But you can.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Yeah, take.
You win here.
Ah, but I have rook d1. If you play rook e2.
Where?
No, I mean here I.
No,
have
but
some-
I was going to just play this king g3, or maybe this and f4 next move.
But if I play king e7 now.
Okay, f4, let's say.
Ah, f4 immediately. Yes. Yeah, that's a draw because
No,
king
I think
f3, king e3.
You're not in time to
Yes.
create anything. Yeah?
If white king can come to the center, it's just a draw.
Yeah. And Lei Tingjie is down to her last 12 minutes for 13 moves. 14
Yes.
moves. 13, sorry, yes.
13
moves. And she definitely is calculating this 94, and she's trying to assess how big a chances does she have there for a win, right? And if not, what do we do if we, because frankly I don't think there is enough life after all those exchanges, especially after what you this
Yes,
maneuver
this is-
that you suggested, knight c5, knight d3. How can we keep the pressure on? And again, she senses that this is a critical moment, and she is taking the time, but now the time is becoming really precious, and I think Ju Wenjun is more relaxed now.
Yes.
Yeah, looking at her, she seems to be a bit more confident now.
Yes. And I think she takes off her jacket, maybe because I remember she wears black.
Yeah, I have to admit I haven't noticed, so sorry about that.
Yes.
I wanted to say that you know, it's never an easy task to defeat a world champion, right? So
Yes, of course.
and she shows once again why she is the best woman player in the world. It wasn't easy at all, but she found this 8x before. She calculated, although it looked scary, right?
Yes.
We have to say it looked scary, but she went for it anyway.
And seems it's
It seems that now she managed to at least stabilize the position, and let's try to see if we can still. Okay, so we say that rook c8 is met by knight c5, right?
Yes.
So maybe we can prevent knight c5 from happening somehow. Maybe if we can keep the knight on a4.
Yes, knight d7 is a move to play for a win.
Yeah, we want to keep as many pieces as we can, right? So, and we also
Yes.
prevent knight e5 in the process. So we prevent both knights, although maybe not really preventing, right? Can it be played? So if you go here, the point is that
Rook c8? Or
just rook c8, yeah, or maybe first take
Yeah,
to
the first
prevent,
take, then
to
rook
prevent jumps, and rook c8, and now this is just winning.
just
probably,
winning.
yeah. So knight c5 is impossible.
Actually, knight d7, I would consider to play king f1.
King f1, copycat. And okay, and if I go here, then you just, what do you do?
I think I will go bishop b3, but I'm not sure it's
Check.
I will rook d1.
I wanted to take and play bishop d3, but knight d3, but it's probably not enough.
Yeah. No, knight d3, I can just king e2. You cannot take.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
laughing. You know what the computer suggests? Knight f6.
Give my
After you remove the bishop
Yes.
from c2, now we go back to e4. I don't see this happening, to be honest. Knight d7, she played it.
wow.
Wow. She actually, I think most of her moves so far were the computer's first line.
Yes, almost
It's unbelievable.
almost
She-
all the moves.
This is really, really impressive because she keeps this very tiny life in the position, right? And it must be
Yes.
said, both players are playing almost the first line, right?
Yeah.
So what else can be said? Is amazing and simply amazing chess. Maybe not as sparkly as often spectators like, right? But here you can see all those nuances, right? The players are fighting those little things, and they're avoiding. And most of the beauty is left behind the scenes, right? So here
Yes.
this 97 looks like, okay, so what's this move? But then when you calculate all those lines in after 94 and you find all those ideas, and you come to understanding that, okay, knight c5 is an important resource, and for that reason you're playing 97.
Yes.
Now, this is where chess becomes really beautiful, right? Because
And I have to say, she is very brave because I think she well said. Maybe I consider knight e4 and I find it's a draw. And for example, bishop b4, rook e4, and something like knight c5, knight d3, I cannot avoid the draw. And then my time is go to only 8 minutes.
absolutely, yes.
Maybe I think, okay, it's time.
It's time to take a draw, yeah?
Yes, and I play black. I can accept that draw. And I
Absolutely.
tried my best. But she played knight d7.
Which shows a lot about her character, right? Not
Yeah.
settling for even, not giving into any fears, real or imaginary, but yeah, absolutely. So this is a choice really of a warrior, right? So
Yes.
of a true fighter, and adorable, really. I mean, 97. So what is White's? What is White going to do here?
Actually, I see the computer first line is knight c3, but I will never consider this move because I think my knight on a4 is protect on b2 and b6, two important squares. First, I protect my pawn. Second, you cannot play knight b6, knight c4. I think I will never move my knight, except I have to move. So I cannot know why computer said knight c3 is the best move here. I will go for king f1.
Actually, after knight c3, I would consider transferring the knight to c4, maybe.
Yes, maybe knight b6. Or maybe
Or maybe take first, yes?
Take first,
to
yes.
prevent knight e5.
or maybe f6, then knight b6. I'm not sure which is best. Maybe check it first, and knight b6. I don't think this is very easy for white.
Not
here.
pleasant, yeah.
Yes. But instead, what we said before, king f1, rook c8, and bishop b3. After bishop b3, knight f6 actually is a big threat.
Yeah, but it's not very easy to find, right?
Yes, but I think everything is possible because they do a lot of...
For them, everything is possible, absolutely, yes. It is.
They do a lot of things we thought maybe they cannot find, but they really played on the board today.
Absolutely. So, knight. What else? So you would play king f1 here, yeah?
I think I will go for king f1. And actually, king f1, there is a plan for me is knight e1. I can, of course, rook e2 is my dream, but maybe king f1, I can play knight e1 to hold my position. I try to hold my position because I don't want to move my a4 knight to give.
Yeah, it's so beautifully placed on a4. Yeah.
Yes, I love.
That's what we always want to do. To place. That's what they teach us. Right? You take the knight to place it on the corner of the board and keep it there for the rest of the game.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but here you are right. Here it's doing some important job. So this is an exception to the rule.
b2 and b6, two important squares for.
Right, as you mentioned. So king f1 actually makes a lot of sense. I agree, because you want to cover this. This is your Achilles, right? The weakest, the biggest problem of White's position, and Ju Wenjun's got plenty of time to find the plan, to find the setup for her pieces, right? But you know, I would be concerned a little bit about sudden ideas of switching switching to the other side, but maybe it's nothing, right? Maybe it's just rook c3 or
rook c3, yeah, I think
and we're holding. Yeah. And Ju Wenjun played a move. I think the king is still on g1, so it looks like maybe bishop b3 was played from the video. It looked a little bit like that.
I think it looked like she played the pieces on queen side.
Yes, yes. But interesting. Bishop b3 is exactly what she played. This is interesting. And according to the bar, as you can see, the bar doesn't like it. It thinks that this is a concession because, as you said, king on f5, on f1 is really missed here.
Yes.
And after take on f3, rook e1, we can now. Well, the rook is so controlling, right here.
This
is total domination. The question is if this is enough, right? So how do we proceed here with black?
I think maybe just king e7. Actually, I want to play king e7 for a very
long time. Yeah, I agree.
Rook e2 always a check, and
it's much better to play it with the rook on the e1 than on the 8, right? So so this, and I think it's kind of forced, right?
Yes, I think this is.
And now moves like knight c3, we are in time to cover, right?
Yes.
But Lei does not take. What does she do? Did she play bishop f5? It looks like the bishop is on f5.
Yes, I think so. Bishop f5. Actually, I really like the. I really like the position we just arrived.
Yeah, I think this is maybe the first. Again, maybe we are wrong, and because she has a very interesting point, right? She wants to install the knight on d3, perhaps.
Yes, or maybe bishop e4 to control.
Or bishop goes to e4, right, and also protecting d5. But It looks as though a bishop f3, rook e1 was giving a bit more. Not a lot, right? Still not.
You cannot play rook e2 here. Because
the point is that you
Yes.
exactly you cannot play rook e3 because you will just lose the pawn, right?
yes, and this is almost lost.
Yeah,
after
this is
the-
game over. This is game over. So this is
Yeah.
very important. So it's very difficult to untangle here, right?
Yes, and after you, when you cannot play rook e2, I think black has time to manage to do something. For example, knight b6, knight c4. These are some good plans for black.
Yes. This would indeed have been very, very promising.
And now after bishop f5, there's a good thing for Lei is white cannot play king f1 now. You can, at least I can play bishop d3 to check you to back to g1. This is maybe her idea is to stop king f1. But now, maybe Ju Wenjun can play knight c3. Maybe this is an idea for Ju Wenjun because
Putting pressure on d5 immediately, yes?
yes. Actually,
Lei is threatening g4, right?
yes.
And knight c3 played, I think. I think the knight is on c3.
Yes, I think so. Knight c3. Because if white play a random move, for example, but it's not easy to move a random move. For example, if white play something a random move, and after g4, you play knight h4 and rook e1, king h2, and I just, for example, just
it's a piece up almost, yes?
Yes.
You have two knights on h4 and a4.
Yes, these are two
you
stupid pieces.
You don't play chess like this, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a very nasty threat, but why not g4 here? Why is it
Yes.
not good? Knight e5.
Yes. So I can understand the bishop f5.
Yeah, I can also
G4.
understand before. Now I understand it well. So g4 is a concrete threat, but the world champion seems to have found the countermeasures against it, right? So this would basically lead to
To a draw.
complete equalization of the game, right?
Yes.
And maybe Lei is now already willing to take that because she only has 5 minutes left.
Yes.
It might become tricky.
She has 11 moves now.
11 moves. It's not.
And actually, I think it's not a very easy endgame to. For example, I can play easily to a draw or something. So if into time trouble, I think it's not very easy for black to decide the decision.
Yeah, I feel that she might go for g4 and take on e5 now.
Yes. If you play some moves like knight b6, you will give maybe you will give white to play knight e5 and do some counterplay into your time pressure. I think Lei Tingjie make a move, but I cannot see what she made. g4.
G4 should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if Ju Wenjun don't play knight e5, can she play knight h4? Knight h2 is absolutely bad move because rook e1 and but actually computer said it's not bad.
Wow.
Well, it's this is sorry, rook d1 is
Rook d1
yes
is
possible.
yeah.
Yes. So I missed the.
But it looks, yeah.
Okay, this looks very. This looks not a move to consider.
Yeah. This is this is scary to look at, even not to
Yes.
play.
But after, if you play knight h4, rook e1, king h2, I think bishop e6, maybe. Yeah, bishop e6. And then this position is very very bad for white because the h4 knight is almost like you lost a piece to play. You can never take the knight to the game. Even after rook exchange the rook, the knight is also
Yeah, the knight is buried there. So
Yeah.
you're right. And knight h2 is also a move, but I think knight e5 is by far the most natural move to make here, right?
yes.
Because why place the knight on h2 if you can force the exchange, unless you feel that
Unless you feel that
you can try to play for a win now, right? So
Yes.
maybe now if the knight goes to e3 and playing again on time
Yes,
on your
I
opponent's
also mean
time,
this.
it might make sense for that. Although it has to be said that you don't really get much chances here, right? Because in this line, black can just take.
and the king e7, king d6.
d6, and why should you ever be better here, right? I mean,
But
actually,
you need to take on. You need to
you need
protect
to be
the g4.
you need to be careful, right? So maybe this is the way if we want to liquidate.
But if I take,
But then d5 is
Yes.
holding. Yeah,
it's not easy, I think, for black.
So we can we need to not over push here. Yeah? Maybe this is the move.
No,
But this is still
But knight b6. Yeah, knight b6 is.
knight b6 is always a good move, so why not make it, right?
Yes.
And we need to we cannot tolerate the rook on e1, so we need to play rook e1, take, bishop takes. Now this is probably a threat. But after knight c4, do we have b3?
e3. Knight b2. Okay. I can play knight b2. Yeah.
Yes, this is good. And this is trouble for white,
Yes.
right? Because now
Bishop c2.
we go here and we pick this guy up.
Yes. If you play knight d2, I just f5. I think everything is locked.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful total look down. Yeah.
Yes.
Knight c4. We need to probably then go knight e3. Right.
Then. Yes, after knight e3, I think it's close to a draw.
Yeah, and this is a draw. So it's not clear if this is a winning attempt at all. But maybe this is what she's considering, because clearly after 95 she has solved all her problems.
Yes, but now the time for black is yes, I think white can think about I can win, try to win or not.
Yeah.
If black is not in time trouble, I think Ju Wenjun will play knight e5 immediately.
Yes, but she is such an experienced player, right? So she can sense those things, and this is what you do. This is how you score points, right? You use those tiny opportunities for But of course, she's considering if the position warrants her the option to play, if it's not too risky, because this can also backfire, right? You play such a move like knight h2, and then you get up, you end up in a position when you cannot get out with the knight, and you're just lost, right? So you need to be very careful not to overplay this card of time management, because let's be honest, 4.5 minutes and 30-second increment, right? So basically, Lei has 10 minutes on to make her 10 moves, right?
Yes.
So it's really 11 moves. In such a position, it's not really a big time trouble at all, right? So
yes.
But this will be interesting to see, indeed.
Yes, I think Ju Wenjun should see all the things we have discussed about this position, knight h2 and knight e5, and she is decided to play it.
You think she's decided to?
I think she's deciding.
And what do you think she will play?
I think she will play knight e5.
Knight e5.
I really don't like the knight h2.
Yeah, I also feel that. You know, as a sometimes your hand doesn't want to make such moves, even, right? So, but if she does, and actually. The idea of transferring the knight to e3 is really quite compelling, right?
Yes.
So
it's really a good plan, but I cannot make myself to play
she played knight e5. Yeah.
Yes.
She played knight e5, and I think now after knight e5, we have all the right to expect very fast.
Yes.
Liquidation of all the pieces. Lei took on e5 twice. Knight takes e4, knight takes d5 will follow probably.
Yes, I think the game mostly will be end up a draw, and this game is very, very high quality.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how will they do it? Both players showed extreme technique, really very, very almost mistakeless game, right? So we had only 1 point. All the and what we spoke about that Lei Tingjie took the initiative. It was still around the drawish line, right? So it was still around equality. The only thing it can be said that on move 28, right?
Yeah.
On move 28, Lei could have gotten a really feasible advantage, right?
Yes.
Had she played bishop f3 and rook e1. So this might be the only tiny.
Yes.
The only move basically where there could be done something more than that. Instead of bishop b3, probably king f1 was keeping the position inside the equality. But apart from that, really a very, very impressive game by both players. And now, now I think Ju Wenjun is considering whether she wants to take with the bishop on d5 and then probably after some...
Yes, but maybe she can... I'm not sure she can take on with rook or not.
Yeah, I think she can, but I think that after this even in a5, I think a5 is important, not to allow you to block my pawn on a6. And the king will come to his center. I have a pawn on g4, but
f3. My king is also into the center.
Yes, so this is what I'm saying. So basically, it should be.
Sure.
I would prefer to have the pawn on g5, of course, but
of course.
Having it on g4, it's nothing.
special.
Nothing special here, and especially that you will probably play f3 yourself, right? So,
Yes.
so this will probably be a draw. Another option for white is to take with the bishop, probably on d5, and keep the rooks. And then this is what white is deciding, whether she wants this or that. And here,
yeah, bishop d5 looks more safe, because next I just play f3 and I just keep put my king into the center.
yes,
Yes.
but I don't think any of it makes a lot of difference here, because it looks
Yes, actually. But maybe rook d5, maybe maybe black can play rook e1 and bishop e6.
baby rook d1.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, rook e2, I just bishop e6.
And Lei, you can see on her the expression on her face.
Sorry,
She's
I
a bit
missed the-
disappointed, yeah, and
yes.
she showed it very well. She's probably acknowledging that it's a game over, and
Yes.
so one way would be to offer some bishop exchanges, right, and go into a rook endgame. I would
Yeah.
still play a5, I think, here, to make sure I never end up with a pawn on a6, right? So we
Yes.
want, and this is a very important principle. Let's just talk about it for a second. So, for instance, let's consider that we go into a bishop ending and we make a careless move like a king d7, right?
Yes.
And now, so if white manages to play before and make sure that the pawn stays on the light squares, so this will always be a target for an attack, right? So we have this target and we have this target. And this is where potentially you can become, you can have trouble with black, right?
Yes.
But because your bishop is now doomed to only defending. You can never attack this pawn or these pawns with your bishop, but your opponent's bishop can always attack your light squared pawns. So for this reason, it's very important, and you will often see in top players' games that they make sure that once there is a chance of reaching those same color bishop endings, we want to place our pawns on the color opposite to our bishop.
Yes.
Right? And for this reason, even here, I would start with this to make sure that even when we get into, if by any chance we change the rooks, then we are ready for that. And of course, if we eventually end up exchanging the bishops, no harm has done here, because
Yes.
these pawns will be traded off anyway.
Yes.
So. And what
Lei Tingjie played
Lei Tingjie gave the check on e1
and a5.
and a5. So this
Yes.
just goes to show you
The endgame technology.
yeah, well,
Yes.
since I said it, I don't know if it is good sign that she did the same that I suggested, but let's say that this is a common knowledge in this case.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think they will go through the motions. Just a reminder, they cannot offer a draw
Yeah.
before move 40. So even though both players know this is a draw, this is there's not much really to look for forward in this game, but they need to go through the motions or find some way to force a repetition or something.
Yes. And I think in the world champion match, always they will not take the draw. Even the position is totally equal.
They will, yeah,
Yes.
they will not offer a draw, right?
Yes.
So they will just let it play out, and this is a very good point, because as we see, they are fighters. They're trying. And they were also asked. Actually, yesterday the press conference. I think Lei Tingjie was asked, "How is the feeling to play a friend in the World Championship match?"
Yes.
And she said, "Yeah, friends. We are friends, and we will be friends outside the chessboard. But once I'm there, all I can think of is
to win.
It's to win. About chess. Chess is so beautiful by itself. Why think about anything else? Yeah. So I really love this answer.
Yes.
And you can see that in their games, right? So they're trying to find the smallest, the tiniest possibilities to continue to play for a win.
Yes.
And here,
she really
F3 F3 is a move that you probably must make because you want to get your king out of the way, out of this prison, right?
Yes. And there are some interesting things. For example, after white can exchange the b pawn to black's a pawn, and I can play maybe f takes g4 to make some stalemate.
Yes. Okay, let's play with it a little bit, okay? So h5 was played. So you are basically saying something like this, right?
Yes.
So we. Let's think how we do it. Let's do it.
Okay,
just simple, stupid way, right?
Yes.
Black waits, so we take here. We need to exchange the bishops. This is important.
Yes. For example, if you play a move, for example, rook c1, I play rook f4, and then.
For instance, like this. Yes.
Yes.
We take,
I can play.
and then rook f1.
Yes, or rook f7. It's.
Rook f7 is even better.
Yes, something like this. Or
And
maybe.
this is called the crazy rook, right?
Yes.
The rook cannot be taken because it will be
Stalemate.
stalemate. And a very nice way to finish the game without offering a draw.
Yes.
I don't think it will happen.
Yeah, that will not happen because b2 pawn and a5 pawn is not easy to.
Yeah, but actually after rook d4 is actually probably going for one of those two ideas.
Yes.
And also rook d4, I like the move because it keeps the pressure. So white actually still has a worse position, right? Because the king is cut off.
Yes.
So white is playing without her king, but the problem is that black doesn't have enough resources on the other side of the board to create anything, because once those pawns are liquidated, the only play black can have is on the side where the king is locked. So and you cannot really create anything serious there. And Lei, you can see by her posture, she knows it's a draw. She knows the chances are basically exhausted.
Yes.
But still, she is playing. She didn't take on f3 to make an automatic draw right after f3. So she keeps her opponent trying to find in need to find the best moves.
And now, if white play rook a4 or rook f4, black can play rook e5. For example, if you play rook f4, I can play rook e5. This is the point. If she wants to still put some pressure on his or her opponent.
No, this is a valid point. Yes.
Yes.
But okay, but maybe
bishop
not enough.
c4, yes.
But not enough pressure. Yes.
Whatever you play, I just king g1, king f2.
Yeah, this is a threat, and you cannot even prevent me from getting out.
Yes.
Not so simple.
And king g7, I like this move because rook a4, you can play rook e5.
Rook a4 or rook e5?
Yes, this is what she wants to do.
Is this a move? But now black would have will have an advantage, right? Now maybe not enough, but maybe we go to rook b5. The king goes to e5, and this is something that you don't want to get into with white.
Yes.
Sorry. But on the other hand, you don't have to.
Yes, white don't need to play.
What if I go somewhere here and I want to...
Here, maybe, can I play g takes f3 here?
You want to... Yeah, but this is...
Yeah, but this...
this I suddenly don't like too much, but maybe I'm lucky, yeah?
Yes, because rook a5.
Because I have rook a5 and... yeah.
Yes, still a draw.
More luck than skills in this case.
Okay, but rook a4, I mean, as
but rook a4 is a bit tricky, and you need to make decisions, right?
Yes, I think rook f4 is just not a difficult draw. Rook f4 and rook.
And what if king g6?
No, you can
bishop f7, right?
Bishop f7.
Point is bishop f7. But maybe I will pretend that this was all a plan. Then you will take on f5, on h5. Okay, this was not a plan. It was a bad plan.
Yes.
And if I go back with the bishop, then this is hanging, so I cannot do that. And basically, you are forcing me to go here.
Go here, I just...
you take and take again, right?
Yes. So rook e5 is...
So rook e5 is almost the only move, yeah?
Yes. And then you cannot stop me to play king g1, king f2.
Ta-da! And Ju Wenjun is thinking, she knows it's a draw, both players know it's a draw, but you always want to make the most precise draw, right? You don't want to give, because now you make one fast move, and you can find yourself defending for the next 4 hours to make this draw which you had in your hands, right? So this is really, it's the experience that teaches you to make sure you spend the time here, and then
almost all the players have this experience. But not in this position, maybe some other...
In all kinds, all kinds of positions. And
especially when you play, for example, a stronger player, maybe he is or she is 100 or 200 elos better than you, and you think, I managed to draw this, and then you make some easy moves.
You come home, oh my God, what did I do?
Yes. Even maybe you draw the game after a very long game, 3 hours, 4 hours later than what you think it will finish, maybe 10 minutes, but it still played 2 hours.
and during those 2 hours, you're cursing yourself. I'm so stupid. How could I do that? I had to draw. Absolutely, absolutely. You don't want to make any harsh decisions here. And you can see that she is extremely concentrated.
Yes.
And the time is not an issue here at all, because she needs to make 4 moves in 5 minutes, in 7 minutes because of the increment. So basically, really not an issue. So she can afford herself to spend even 3 or 4 more minutes here, just to make sure she sees everything until the end. And I agree that rook f4, as you suggested, looks most promising here. And rook, the hand is going for the rook. Rook a4.
Rook a4, yes. I think rook a4 gives black very, very little chances.
Maybe, but okay, maybe after rook e5. Yeah, you say rook e5 is the move, right?
Yes, rook e5 is the move.
Maybe we can still... the computer actually gives rook d4 here. And says,
actually, it's
and says, what do you want from me?
Yes,
so
bishop on d5.
My next move is bishop is king g1, and basically...
Yes, if you go rook e1, rook a4.
Actually, it's exactly what she's done.
Yes.
You see, they're just playing like a computer. It's unbelievable.
Yes, this is a good plan. bishop on d5 is the best square for white bishop.
Yeah, the bishop is really controlling all the sides of the board. Not by mistake. Not by mistake. This is the central square, and are they repeating? Yeah, they are repeating the moves, and this.
Yes, I think
the rook goes back to e1 and draw. Agreed. Wow. I'm extremely impressed by this game.
Yes.
I must say. There were no fireworks, right?
Yes.
But both players showed such a great technique.
Yes, I think
Both in defense, both in the offense, right?
I think this game, this quality of the quality of this game is maybe better than some games in the men's world championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It was almost a flawless game, and
Yes.
we have seen very few such games in the Ding Nepo match, right?
Yes.
So. Really extremely high quality, and we can only say that the only real opportunity, and I would even not call it an opportunity, maybe half an opportunity, right? So to be fair, instead of bishop f5 here, had Lei took on had she took on f3 and
Yes.
played this, the computer is still not too impressed, but it would be half a pawn advantage for black, which is kind of sizable, right? From the perspective of the current game, of the
Yes.
current situation, right? So it never left the area of plus minus 0.2, 0.3, and now all of a sudden it's 0.5. So it's felt, and more than that, you feel that, yeah, as a human, you feel that you are under pressure here, right?
Yes, it's really in a pressure for white this position.
But this is really the only point where we could say there was something real. Here we felt, we can go. We have a few minutes until the players reach the press conference, so
Yes.
we can just make a very short recap. So here.
Yes,
The Tarrasch opening,
Yes.
white went for slightly advantage.
Yes.
I love this idea of bishop g4 e6. Turns out that it's not new, but after having digged a little bit, we understand why this is important, right? So we all learned a little bit here today.
And maybe a3 is I don't want to call it a mistake, but maybe queen d2 is the best plan in the position.
Okay, guys, so we will end our portion of the stream for now, but don't go anywhere, because in just a couple of minutes we will have our press conference with the players here. So stay tuned in just a couple of minutes. She can you share us your thoughts, your thought process in this situation? Because after that, it felt that you played a sequence of very strong and quick moves. What were you considering there?
After bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, and because the bishop is on h4 and a4, and my piece is on the pin, so I needed to find a way to frame my pieces, and like a g5 is huge decision, because if you push g5, I think it's a little bit like risky, but after like long time thinking, and I think I have to do.
Actually, I have to say that both of you, most of the game, it was almost the first computer light. So it was one of the best games we've seen in the last in the last period. Have you considered, after a6, the question to both of you, have you considered bishop takes b6, bishop takes c6?
Okay, well, I think for some time, but then maybe after bc6 and my move.
Well, bc6, there is queen d3, attacking on a6, and then basically black would have to go back to a8, and then knight a4, knight c5. It looks very pleasant for white.
Yes, I should have played that maybe.
Have you considered after e6, bishop takes e6?
Yeah, so after like bishop b5, I thought probably I should play a6 instead of rook e8, because when I play rook e8, I think, bishop b5 probably is not any threat or something, but I should play bishop b5, and I felt some pressure.
Yeah, and after a6, the bishop c6, so the point is that rook c6 is...
Knight e5, I guess.
No, there is bishop takes f6, queen f6, knight takes d5.
Yeah, knight takes d5 is also.
And we thought during the commentary, actually, white wins a pawn, but after queen d8, there is, it's very similar to yesterday's games with the reverse colors. So maybe we thought maybe this is what you didn't like and why you didn't go for it. And another question we had is when you played bishop f5, Leis, for you. Bishop f5. Have you considered bishop takes f3?
Yeah, I also considered, but my time is, I'm in time trouble, and also, the position I thought probably is a little bit better for me, but yeah, like probably still have like 10 moves to go, just,
So you basically wanted to save for a way to...
Yeah.
And Ju, how was your feeling at this time after b4, after black b4? Because you seemed a little bit tense.
Yes, because black has some threat on d4, and also my pieces is not so active. So I think white need to play precise.
Yeah, and you found almost the only move. A takes b4. It looked like it was a surprise to you. Yes, A takes b4, B.
No, because after b4, knight f4, queen b5, I know the position was very difficult for white to play, but A takes b4 is also my consideration. But I spent a lot of time later on because I just wanted to try to find something to press.
Have you considered knight takes b4 instead of queen d3?
Yeah.
What did you think about it, both of you? What did you think about this position?
I think probably I should go this way, but knight takes b4, probably should go queen a3, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, queen a3 and
probably king g7, and I think black has some counterplay on the king side in the future, and also white pieces on the edge of the board. Yeah, but...
How did you feel about this position after knight b4?
Well, I feel maybe Queen D3 is more easy for black to play. Knight 4 is also a choice, but it's not very clear, like a clear way or clear advantage for black. So I think maybe Queen D3 is not a bad choice.
Yeah, actually it's very close to each other. Okay, thank you. I don't have any more questions about the game.
Okay, thank you, Alik. 好，那我们现在来到中文提问环节。首先，我有一个有趣的问题想问两位棋手啊，我们也放松一下。这个也是这个网友们的问题，就是说，如果你们可以穿越来到任何一个时代和任何一位棋手下棋，你们会希望是谁？
如果能穿越，为什么还要下棋？
如果你去了任何一个时代，你就不想下棋了吗？
我觉得，我可能还会下棋，但是那将会完全不一样的一个新的篇章，我觉得。
那如果你选择任何一位棋手，在任何一个时代，还是必须得下棋，你希望对手是谁？希望跟谁下一盘？
其实，我这么说可能有点，就是如果我穿越到，就是丁立人的小时候，让他赢了，我是不是就是战胜了世界冠军呢
？Yes, great.
OK.
刘婷姐。
我觉得穿越到想跟卡尔森下棋，就反正任何一个时代，现在这个时代我都可以跟他下棋，所以想什么下一个对抗赛，感觉应该会很开心。
Okay, let me translate a little bit. Ju Wenjun wants to play against the younger Dimitrian and defeat him, and Lei Tingjie wants to play against Magnus Carlsen at any time. Okay, 大家有什么问题？
Ju Wenjun还有谈一下你们俩人对于各自的这个比赛的过程吧，谈一下。
我觉得这盘棋可能，白方在有些时候可能，花了比较多的步数，然后让黑方，有一个很好的一个主动权吧，然后可能中间可能应该像飞豆吃掉，然后后来可能，有一些压力，但是也并没有什么特别具体的东西，所以说就是这样一盘和棋。
对，婷姐。
我觉得这盘棋双方下的肯定比上一盘棋我觉得会焦灼一点，但是怎么讲呢？就感觉两盘棋下完了以后，感觉还可以。
感觉还可以的意思是觉得自己状态还不错。
也不是这个意思，就是第一次下嘛，下了2盘棋，这个感觉还可以。
OK。好，其他记者朋友。好，如果没有，OK。
就是知道的就是，像君和林挺杰他们既然就是队友，然后又是非常不错的好朋友，像你们2个人同时在国内下这个争夺女子这个世界冠军，然后你们2个人的这个 这个情绪，这个是不是要调整到这个战斗当中的比赛当中这个情绪，你们怎么调节？
我觉得其实这个东西也不需要特别的调节吧，因为你现在面对的是可能你职业生涯中最重要的，或者说是最特别的一场比赛。那无论如何，当你投入到这个场景、这个形势下，我觉得这个是一个棋手，就是他自己会慢慢去进入这个状态，不需要特别的调节。
对于我来说，我和母姐那两个都是中国人，那最后谁赢都是中国人夺冠。对我来说，这个你所谓的友情或者怎么样，但反正坐在那个地方，你就想着全力以赴，对。
就是，网上有朋友会就你第一天的这新闻发布会，称呼母姐，然后他们不知道这个母姐是什么意思，你可以给解释一下吗？就是你回答问题的时候，你说的这个母姐是指的居文君吗？就是为什么会有这样的称呼？是你们家的这种比较亲密的称呼？
就像母姐叫母姐，人哥叫人哥。这个母姐为什么叫母姐？那就得问母姐本人吧。
其实，这个名字已经这个昵称也好，绰号也好，就是已经好像大家就习惯这么称呼了。我觉得，就是可能哪一天突然别人这么叫我，后来大家都这么叫了，或者说这样的。
好，其他朋友还有问题吗？好，那我们今天的新闻发布会就到这里，感谢两位棋手，感谢Alik。
你不用给我，four cables.